A brand new week of Street Fighter League Japan coming your way. We got Division S going into day number 3. We've already had a pretty decent toss-up in regards to all the points and all the matches that have been going on. It's been very close in regards to this current race. But again, it's only day 3, right? So we're seeing, as it goes on, the round robin start to flesh out. We're starting to see the meta. We're starting to see the character picks. And we're starting to see some of the strategy behind the teams and their decision-making. But with this going on right now, we're going to see how much of these teams really make a difference here going into day 3. My name is Vicious here with Sankola. How are we feeling today this week?
I'm feeling great, brother. Can't wait to see what happens. Who's going to be taking the lead this week? Now, to go down the rule set real quick for those who have forgotten, we, as you mentioned, are in 2 divisions, Division S and Division F. 12 teams are split in between 2 division groups with 6 teams per division. We'll go back to that round robin league format that we love and know for Street Fighter League. That means the teams will pick 3 players from first, second, and anchor position. That third position will be super important. The home and away sides return, with the away side put their players' characters and control type first, the home side putting it up second. That allows them to kind of deliberate and configure based on what they see. However, that isn't always the W or the victory every single time, as we've seen in the league thus far, where the away side will have a strategy just in case they have to go up. Now, first to 2, first to 2, first to 3, first, second, and third games respectively. That anchor position is going for 20 points, the first and second games for 10 points. Now, if it comes down to a tiebreaker, that becomes a necessity. We will go to that first to 1, best to 1, or first to death, as we love to call it, for that 5 extra points. That means for a tiebreaker game, 25 points will be awarded to the winner and 20 points to the loser. But you want as many as possible out here to be at the top spot for the playoffs. You need to be in that top 3 to move on to the playoffs for each division. And then, of course, the winner of each of those divisions will move on to the grand finals to be the best in land Japan, the best team to fight off against the US and EU at the World Championship. That'll be happening next year at Capcom Cup.
And it's kind of hard to call, right? Again, we're going back and forth between Division S during one of the days, Division F right afterwards. It's been quite the scramble, right? Trying to keep up with like both sides of the fence. But one thing is for certain, right? You are going to be expected to see some of the meta like continuously develop with some of the DLCs. We're going to see some of the players who have been doing pretty well throughout the entirety of the World Warriors and the CPT events that have been going on kind of get checked a little bit, because there are certain players that aren't always going to be like seen in a World Warrior. They're not always going to have that kind of spotlight. But this is like the proving grounds essentially for those team members that are going to be put into these really high-end situations. So with that in mind, Division S, with our matchups, we have NagoyaNTPOJA going up against Saishunkan Kumamoto. We have Good 8 squad going back and forth between the home and away position. They're on the away side facing off against DetonatioN, FocusMe. Then, of course, rounding it out, Shinobism Gaming going up against FUKUSHIMA, IBUSHIGIN. Now, the bottom 3 teams at the moment, with IBUSHIGIN in 4th, DetonatioN, FocusMe at 5th, and Shinobism Gaming, this is kind of tough. I mean, like, they're not too far away from each other. They're actually not too far away from breaking that threshold into 3rd. But some of them being on the away side is going to be a little bit questionable.
That being said, we just saw the stats where the away side has so far gained the most amount of victories, and everybody's about a 5-point differential away from each other. Just if you go down the list from first to second to third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. So as you mentioned, they're not too far off from gaining a lion's share of that prize pool. As you see up there, 8 million in totality for the prize pool, 5 million, 2 million, and 1 million for first, second, and third, respectively, split up between the 4 players on the winning teams. Now, there's also 50K for the award winners out here, which we will detail in just 1 second, and I also have a stat for that. But these players are definitely playing for not only to be the best in land Japan and move off to fight the US and the EU, but for that last year, that prize pool, and to be awarded 50K yen for one of the 5 awards, maybe also gaining double awards. I'm not sure how that works out, if that will work out. But it's cool to see them rewarded for their efforts, not only just with being able to fight out like other teams over in other areas, but also monetarily.
I gotta admit, if there was a person who lands the most drive impacts, by default, in my opinion, that's season MVP. I think being able to I agree with award somebody like double awards, like that should be a thing, right? Because like if you think about it, if they land the most drive impacts, then they could have a stat for being highest win rate because they should be winning their games, right? So who knows? Who actually knows how it works out in regards to like how many awards you can give somebody? If it's like a 1 award per person thing, well, good luck to everybody else. I want to see how that goes and how that plays out.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes down. Well, actually, I'll talk about the awards in just 1 second, but you know what, forget I'm going to mention this right now because I definitely want to detail the awards a little bit. We have a Season MVP Award, Point Getter Award, Win Rate Award, Rookie of the Year Award, Drive Impact Award, which is the one that you mentioned. But one stat that I found on the official website, which details all of the different stats that are going on in Street Fighter in Japan, is the fact that Hikaru has 6 in total. He is at the top spot right now. So 6 Drive Impacts are in his hands currently, so he is landing a lot of W's as well for his victory. So I feel like it's going to be one of those things where, like, if you're winning, you're probably landing a lot of drive impacts. You're taking away the drive gauge, you are harassing them continuously, and they're not responding correctly. So as you see right there, those the awards right there, and we'll keep a look on those stats as we go along through Street Fighter League. Y'all can too on the official website. It's sf.esports.capcom.com. Y'all can look that up and see the awards and who could get the awards, I guess I should say, yourselves.
Yeah. Let's kind of touch up on that. To be fair, Aki being the Baroness of Burnout, she is going to be landing a lot of those situations more often than other characters just because of her sequencing when somebody's in Burnout. So it's understandable that Hikaru would be in first place. What I want to know is what the criteria is for Rookie of the Year. Who do we count as the quote-unquote rookie? Would that count as the person who's never been on a Street Fighter League before? I would imagine so, right? Just by default. Maybe I'm thinking too deep into it, but it has to be a player who's never been in Street Fighter League before, right?
I feel like that makes sense, but also I feel like someone like Kabe should kind of count, or AKA he was Kabe. Now he is Kosa. Because he only got into the last part of the season, only got to play a little bit. I feel like I would like to also count him as like a Rookie of the Year.
A little grade,
tough,
right?
man.
A little grade out. It's tough. So now that I think about it, dude, Hikaru, he might even be Rookie of the Year. He might even get the Drive Impact Award on top of that. So if he could do it, that'd be kind of sick. But all jokes aside, like talking about all the rulings and stuff right now, we have a pretty hefty lineup in regards to the matches themselves and what's anticipated coming in from the away side. Obviously, no spoilers just yet. This is kind of just setting things up. But NagoyaNTPOJA, I'm really liking their overall synergy. Just watching the last couple of streams from some of these individual players. They've actually really taken to the lab the last couple of times I've watched them and kind of broken down a lot of like their training mode regimen and also training mode towards like certain characters and whatnot. I did try to ask on chat. The person I went to first was Tachikawa, because I know for sure Tachikawa has like a handful of like English on him. Like he'll sparingly throw it out there because we got to talk to him over at EWC. But I asked him kind of like what the overall goal is, and like I wanted to see what they were looking for per character. But he kept it pretty blunt. He's just like, as a joke, he said, "We're looking not to lose." I'm like, okay, yes, that is correct.
Right.
That is absolutely correct. That's step 1. Yeah, go on. They're just trying to minimize errors at this point. That's all it is, really. They're trying to minimize errors with their own character, minimize errors against like the matchups they have to face off against, whether that comes down to like who they figure out is coming in the player order and what character they face off against, but also like I guess increasing the overall game sense.
That makes sense. You know, we'd like to talk at length with a lot of these players. You know, it's kind of hard, especially when they have a million people up in their chat. But we also have to mention the fact that Saishunkan Kumamoto is on the up and up, especially with Higuchi winning the World Warrior, the most recent World Warrior. While everyone's arguing who the best Guile is, Higuchi's like in the strongest, maybe the strongest World Warrior, the most stacked in terms of talent. He's taking it from the winner side of things, and with his team behind him, it's going to be hard to stop them in totality. So hopefully that strategy comes through from NagoyaNTPOJA. Let's take a look at this team that is NagoyaNTPOJA NTP. The Daredevil bounty hunter himself, Mochi, coming through with a different sort of strategy from other games, bringing his own medal with the Kuma, with the Goki. Let's see how far I can go with that character. Toyama's talent himself, the most talented one, Otani, who surprised a lot of people. Thought it was going to be a Kuma, but it's going to be on the Kin. He's been doing a lot of work with the fiery character. After that's going to be the battle consultant himself, the coach, the combatant, Tachikawa on the Modern Ed, and many other surprises in store. We'll get to that a little bit later on. Last but definitely not least, the Hammer, bringing down the Justice, KB, and that B might be standing for Bison. This team is stacked, not only in terms of talent, but the ideation and what they bring to the table, new ideas to Street Fighter 6, and you have someone who is a coach who understands how these other players play from other elements. Oh, and the only person doing something goofy is Tachikawa. They're all business out here.
As expected, but coming in from the home team. We talked about being all business. This is an all-star lineup right here. It's as if you're watching an all-star game every time they step up to the plate. And guess what? They get the special intro because they are indeed on the home side as we get into their full intro. This team is probably one of the most anticipated teams once that roster was announced. What that roster is, we'll get into it right now with the attack on heavy tank. None other than Fudo, with some of the most strongest dispositions in regards to fighting games. He's got so much practice under his belt, so much knowledge, just as much as the legend that is himself, Daigo Umehara, coming in back into the league, by the way, stepping away from his stream. He's probably streaming right now. We also have one of his mentors turned prodigy. It's going to be Higuchi, as you mentioned, one of the best Gala players we could ask for, all led by the Brute King, Nemo, as their leader, the Violent Emperor. And I do like this composition in total. I really love the way that we have a perfect blend of both veterans and I want to say like sort of new school, but Higuchi's been around the block already. Like if you look at it like almost clockwise, you can kind of see like the age differences right here. It's kind of like, it's pretty nice. It's a nice average, I would say. But the talent, 100% above average for sure.
All right, let's see what the order is going to be. Okay, now production did tell us earlier who we were going to see on the away side. They have to put up the characters and players first, as mentioned to the referees. Manan, Tachikawa on the Manan. Now, about a month ago, he was playing Manan. I was like, why, bro? What's with this character? What are you doing with this character? He said, there's a possibility if I run into Bison that I'll play it against Bison or I'll run Classic Ed. He's like, you know, Modern Ed may not work out. But that was a month ago. That was a while ago. And I'm surprised to see the Manan back as an anchor position, considering there's a guy on the other side. Vicious, what do you think about this lineup?
I think it's totally fine. I think putting Tachikawa in that specific anchor spot gives him a little bit of wiggle room in case he wants to switch over to an Ed. I think covering your bases in this regard, also being on the away side, could be a little bit risky. But KB and Otani backing him up first to be the first set of point getters might just be okay. I think regarding this matchup too, Daigo going in with the Akuma, I personally think that it's still a hard matchup to call. I feel like Bisons nowadays aren't really able to snuff out the fireballs consistently, at least coming from like a face value for the matchup, right? Just looking at the amount of pressure that Akuma can pose with both the normals and the fireballs, I don't see a lot of practicality using OD Psycho Crusher going to the fireballs consistently, right? I see like it can happen. Sure, it's gonna like from further out, it's a possibility if they kind of mess up that way, but expecting someone like Daigo to do that, it's unrealistic. In terms of the pressure, I think Akuma has amazing pressure. I think his Oki situations happen so often that it really leaves Bison players kind of hung up to dry if they're not ready for it or they don't have super art. So we'll see though. It really depends on the kind of pace that KB wants to play at. If he's the one that kind of lands the knockdowns, does something kind of unorthodox, Daigo really keeps it sort of textbook in regards to what his pressure situations are like, when he's going to back off. But it's one thing for sure, it's like the footsie game, when it comes to someone like Daigo, is some of the hardest to get over. Like when playing him, I've had experience like a couple of times over in the last how many years, but it's a whole different aura when it comes to him playing footsies against you. If KB is ready for that and not intimidated, I think he'll be just fine.
I think it's one of those things where if you can't use the OD Psycho Crusher, you're gonna have to go for like the perfect parries, which people have gotten better against Akuma just in general. And KB also, his perfect parries, watching him in the World Warriors, watching him recently on the streams, he's been really good about dealing with those fireballs, even if there is a lot of variance. However, Daigo's fireball game is insane. It's like the best in the world. So that's going to be another echelon that he's going to have to achieve. But I don't mind the neutral. Like if you're Bison, you don't mind the neutral too often. Like you do have the buttons contest, longer reaching with the crouching medium kick. You have a beautiful crouching medium punch against Doki's, I'm sorry, Akuma, I'm doing it too. The drive rush that he presents with the crouching medium punch, you can stuff and stop that. Your damage potential is really good. So that's going to put a little bit more risk on the bust outs that we don't typically see a lot from in terms of Daigo. They're very calculated. When they do happen, if KB's able to sniff that out, he's going to be able to cash out in a lot of damage. Also, KB has some good innate defense. We saw him be able to fight the Rashid matchup, jump back and not get caught in the tornado continuously and not panic too often. In some of those moments, I feel like he's able to like delay his crouching light punch into like medium right after, catch people slipping continuously. I want to see how Daigo deals with that. He's able to perfect parry right after if he has the timing. KB himself says, I practice with Daigo a lot, so it depends on how each person reads the opponent's moves, as you mentioned, just as you mentioned. Daigo says in response, though, KB let me practice against Bison a lot. I'll have to win to show here that KB, that the practice actually worked out perfectly.
What better way to thank your training partner than to beat him down where it counts, right? I think that's it's a pretty good gift. I think that's a lot of appreciation there. But to be honest with you, I think that's something KB is expecting. He'd want it no other way. He's like, you know what? The pleasure's all mine as well. Like you actually gave me time to practice too. I don't know what happened in regards to the lobby, but hey, listen, it gets kind of funky sometimes. I would imagine Daigo might have messed up because KB was definitely in the lobby already. If Daigo is in a ranked lobby right now, I'm actually gonna be I'm gonna be laughing. Hold up, I'm gonna find him right now. Let me see this guy. Yeah.
Where's he at? CFN? What is he doing? Oh my God, I'm magic. He's like, I have some practice, man. He's like, he's not streaming?
He's not streaming. Man, come on, brother.
Dang. Pure focus, I guess. So I don't know what happened, but no, it'll be interesting to see what happens in this matchup. I want to see how Daigo has evolved his style. A lot of people are noticing what happened after he fought Kangaroo over at Cream City. Kangaroo kind of turned up like volume. My guy got a super aggressive, right? And Daigo was put on the back foot. And then when he fought Zaffarino in Losers, he immediately got aggressive. That's just something that he has been developing for his style. He says in one of his content pieces that he has been developing a turtle style and has known that as he gets further in a bracket, as he fights more of his competitors, he has to get more aggressive. At some point, he has to demon flip more. He has to get more with the drive rushing and things like that, emulating a little bit of Angry Bird. Let's see if that style is going to be more implemented right now. KB, Daigo, here we go.
You already saw the attempt at the perfect parry. You had mentioned it earlier, being able to do so in certain strings, especially when Akuma is plus, but on the way down too, you already know. Damn, the big throw bait as well. Daigo, what are you gonna do to lock KB down and take him out for the first round? This guy is all over it. We talked about that immense pressure too. The footsie game, also on point. One of the main talking points already being shown off by Daigo.
Like that sweep against the crouching medium kick, keeping him up in the corner. What Akuma can do, we got the 4 fierce to stand fierce. Locking him up in the corner, crouching mid kick, the scissor kick. It's a grip right after, and a back throw. I like this. Reposition yourself, the double dash up, no challenge. Perfect parry on the drive impact. Not gonna get that award, my friend. Probably gonna be dumping out Empyreans in, I would imagine. No, I'm sorry, the Oki, way too scaled.
It was a counter hit, and I like that, being able to show off that drive rush, but also a different look with the faster normal, with the crouching short. The bomb's gonna explode. Daigo just runs into it, no blocks here. Level 2, no way this kills, does it? That's actually crazy. He might just do it. He's dead. Daigo off of 2 mistakes, actually. I don't think that was a punish counter. Off of the bomb.
It was a counter hit, wasn't it? It seemed like it was a counter hit, right? Like,
you tell me.
That's the way it goes when you fight Bison, man.
The title.
Oof. That's what you signed up for when you're playing Akuma. Damage that Bison can dump out. Again with the bomb, the extensions as well. KB using that level 2 for the finish.
Appropriate punish counter, overhead into the Psycho Mine. I don't like that. Trying to mitigate the damage on the drive gauge, doing the parry at the last second for the mine was pretty darn good from Daigo.
KB sits with a fantastic lead right now. Odie Song for the plus frames. Makes him hold the throw right after. It's one more touch. Use that stand medium kick to close things out. Simple stuff. Crouching light kick, stand medium kick. And the check and challenge with the jab. The pop off from KB.
I think it was after that first round, Daigo had to slow down his pressure. I don't know what it was exactly from KB to kind of cause that, other than the slight mishap that Daigo had, not blocking the mine completely. Again, I'd have to watch that again to see what exactly had happened, but now we're starting to see the fireball game. Daigo not ready for the drive impact, but ready for the devil's reverse. Forward throw now. KB being in the corner. Let's see what the defensive end is like.
Get a back throw after the crouching medium punch. Scissor kick, stand fierce, trade. Uh-oh, back up in the corner. Cross up goes for you, Tatsu. Heavy kick ender. Max amount of damage. Odie fireball for the plus frames. Gotta keep the pressure on. And this is what you want to see from an Akuma player. Keeping the pressure on with the Odie fireball, keeping the drive gauge up to be able to do so and apply those plus frames. The stand fierce, forward fierce to lock him up in the corner. Here we go back to the other side of the screen though. Psycho Crusher for the follow-up.
And I like that read from Daigo going for the OD uppercut too. That dive kick a little bit too shallow. The big punish counter indeed. So what are you going to do about the defensive end with the Psycho Mine applied? This has to be KB's round. Yeah, more than enough damage too. That combo wasn't even close to over. But for KB, sticking at 2 bars. Same with Daigo. This is going to be a very explosive round going into it. And we'll see who gets to fire off that gun first.
Daigo with the throw, starts off strong. He's got bar. I do like him going for Demon Fist. I want to see more of that. Perfect parry, a nasty punish right after. More, just importantly, the bomb. Most important thing. That leads into so much for this character, especially for this match. We don't have the health to play with. Can't make too many mistakes as we've seen. Perfect parry. And KB going with so many perfect parries to keep nice and close to this character, to not give up any ground.
Checking with a medium kick, a great measuring tool against somebody like Daigo, who has immense footsies, masterclass in footsies, if you will. But right now, KB's keeping it so difficult. The way he's been moving around the screen, too, he's kind of stutter stepping backwards in the range of like forward medium kick, as you saw, just outside the tip of roundhouse, and any heavy normal for that matter. And that should be enough for KB, right? Yeah, Psycho Crusher into level 3 and brought him right into critical territory. With 900 health, he's got to be dead.
Ooh. Dead or the dead. KB and the B stands for Bison. This man is ridiculous with the footsies. We mentioned how he needed to deal with the fireball game. Well, he had perfect parry. In making the most out of every interaction, whether it be drive gauge or SA gauge at the bottom, to drop this character whenever he got the chance. It felt like Daigo wasn't comfortable on the ground after he got stutter step, or stop from the stutter steps not reaching. As you mentioned, Mans is trying to get him with like forward fierce, stand fierce continuously with the forward medium kick. KB just outside the distance and making sure when he did get in, he was applying as much pressure as possible with punishing whenever need be. Look at this sequence. This character can deal so much damage if given the chance. And one thing also as a Bison player you got to do is apply the bomb. And that's going to be such an easy thing for this character off of most interactions. And KB pretty much put the bomb on Daigo. It felt like every second of the game, it felt like every interaction, it felt any jab, any interaction, he get the bomb on. This one didn't even need the bomb. He's had a Psycho Crusher into level 3 for the victory. But KB very dominant, being able to dissuade the fireball game. I would like to see more of like the demon flips, the shoot those style we see from Akuma.
I mean, there was an attempt, right? I think the lack of demon flips came from the amount of times he was punished going in from game number 1. I think there were at least like, what, 3 different attempts. And each time, KB had already been so mobile to the point where Daigo had missed the mark every time. He did try different strengths of dive kick, like on the way up with a demon raid into the actual dive kick itself. He tried different strengths to get like cover certain distances, but he got punished, I think, every single time by KB.
You like that. Daigo going down to KB. Nagoya with the first game. And now we're already seeing Higuchi come up. This is strange once again, because even if Tachikawa switches over to the Ed, Higuchi has told me and many other people that he is comfortable in the Ed matchup. He is very, very comfortable, whether it be modern, classic, doesn't matter. And he showcased it in Street Fighter League. I've seen it on a stream when he fights in tournaments and things like that. I'm surprised to see him come up, since I feel like he'd be such a pivotal point for the anchor position. That also makes me wonder who's going to be for the finale.
I mean, I'd imagine at this point with KB taking the first W, Higuchi, maybe he's thinking to himself, okay, well, I could possibly secure our guaranteed 10 points. Like maybe it's something up to the leader's discretion where it's like, okay, well, Higuchi, we had him for the reserve, but since Daigo lost, we might have to switch you and pinch hit against Otani. So with that in mind, I think this is not too bad of a pick, right? We've talked about Guile and Ken in so many different instances, right? This character is still getting better and better as the meta evolves. Speaking of evolution, yo, Guile with the level 2 into level 2 into level 3, whatever video, whoever sent that video out into the atmosphere on social media, protect your neck, man. People are so upset about that. People are rioting in the streets. Even Zaffarino was calling Obama. He's like, yo, we need this fixed.
At Obama.
Joe Biden, help me.
I saw man's at the FBI and everything. He's like, get this guy right now. Like,
he's like, I gotta take matters into my own hands, man.
If Capcom won't, somebody got to. The government got to step in, bro.
That's what I'm saying, man. I mean, I think Guile at this point has diplomatic immunity, dude. He's Air Force, right? He's already part of the family. I don't think there's any way he's gonna get touched by any government official.
You know, he hasn't been touched by Capcom that much, if at all, to be honest. In fact, in some ways he's been buffed. And now the Guile players are also evolving, even outside like the level 2. I saw now people using level 2, the solid puncher, for like corner push, using the back fist more consistently. They'll like do the solid puncher in a sequence where they'll be able to drive rush and get the back fist right after. Solid puncher again for that corner carry. And it does a ton of damage. And you're still like in a position of like either way you're taking away the drive gauge, either on block, or like the damage is racking up, you get a nice little knockdown if you want. There's so many things you can do off of that sequence. So like the Guile players developing over that level 2 has made this character a dangerous threat, and we've seen he be a dangerous threat also in the Wolf Warrior. He won the Wolf Warrior too. Higuchi, while everyone was talking about these other Guile players, Higuchi says, I'm just going to take this from the winner's side of things, and he is coming up to bat. Otani, you got a lot to deal with, and again, the matchup you mentioned, Ken, not so much fun for this character still. Anti-fireball play, not so good against the variants that Guile can present. The normal stuff, we check a challenge where you want to do heavy kick, stand medium kick. You have crouching medium punch, but that doesn't really come into play that often. So Ken has to make some very desperate calls sometimes to get in.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully enough, there's like some leeway against the fireball game, perhaps. Maybe I'm being a little bit too much of a boomer and kind of like hanging on to this false hope that the recovery, the extra recovery on the Sonic Booms really make a difference. I've definitely seen Ryukichi do like run DP from like mid distance, like maybe like 3 range to kind of like snipe out our Sonic Boom, but I don't know, man. That's so difficult to get consistently. But enough about our banter. We got ourselves the interview. Otani and Higuchi both have a lot of history against each other, right? So Otani, he said I was the same team with Higuchi, and he's like a little brother to me. But I'll show him that I'm the better brother. That's actually pretty raw. Higuchi on the other side, he says, I feel emotional facing Otani right now. I have a lot of memories talking with him. I want to play a good game.
Thicker than blood right now. Street Fighter. Otani, Higuchi.
You know what's wild too?
Yo, what's that?
Like video game lore too. It's the battle of the brothers-in-law.
Oh, you're right. Oh, because yeah, Ken's wife.
Yeah,
Guile's sister.
Guile's sister.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. Oh. Look at the control. Do you see this? Like, Otani is just locking down Higuchi pretty consistently. That drive reversal should be the big green light for Otani, though. He has to get past all of the Sonic crosses, though. Yep, that's the one. You jump over the fireball. That is indeed a space trap.
Really baiting out Guile. It should be the other way around. Guile would like to bait you out to get the anti with a flash kick and things like that, but Otani, he's on one.
And I love that, too. The utilization of like crouching medium punch as a counter poking tool is so great. Being able to like drive rush behind it and catch an opponent crouching, allowing you to get like the Dragon Lash exclusive combo, it feels so good as a Ken player. And Otani right now, he's chilling, right? It's really up to Higuchi. That's what I was talking about too. Fireball gets absolutely blown up by the heavy Shoryu because he gets to go past it. Absolutely insane too. The amount of control that Otani has with the sweep too. One up knocking on the door, crosscut DP, absolutely has it.
Shimmy game deleted with a crouching medium kick. Sonic boom, upside down kick. Look at the clip, that crouching medium kick. Otani looks like he has his footsies on lock. Perfect parry against a boom. Try to keep that nice and in the green so he can use the OD fireball to cut through. There it is. Just gain some space. Anti with the crouch fears. Burns him out with that sequence.
Punishable. Oh my God! He's bleeding. That was so sick, by the way. Punish counter crouch fierce into heavy. Oh God, the Sonic cross. He's dead. He's dead. From long distance, he loaded the barrel. He looked down the sights and he said, "Pooh."
The Blicky. Well, someone might say the Glicky. Guile. The fastest in the West right now. 3 bars for Otani though. Gets the OD. It's a Shuriken Jinrai rip. Damage being dumped out here, but so how do we leave the corner? Waiting for a flash kick. There it is, right off the rip, just immediately. As soon as I wake up, eyes don't even open.
Quite into level 2 territory, but the throw will do it. Otani trying to get away with it. Currently in a very tough situation. The burnout is going to be very much so a problem as Higuchi moves himself forward, causes a lot of chip damage, but in just a bit, Otani, once he gets this drive gauge, you can expect him to go all out. Yeah, the drive rate, the drive rush immediately afterwards, but Higuchi's defense has been rock solid.
Stand fierce, run into nothing, and he gets tossed out. I don't know what that was. I don't know what happened there. He just stopped and did nothing at all. I don't know if he just thought an option, whatever would have came out, would have died for it, and he just didn't want to break. I'm not sure, but Higuchi getting the back throw and taking the game. It was so close, though.
I would imagine there'd have to be like, I mean, clearly we could kind of say and assume it was an input error. There is a moment where you could do run, stop, and still have like I think a pretty decent advantage off of that setup, but I have to check it again. It was either he had advantage or it was negative enough to bait and be safe, right? You were negative enough to maybe get a reaction from Higuchi, but I'm not too sure in regards to like the distance and also like what had happened prior. So hopefully we could check out that replay. I would love to kind of just like look through the replays and see what his like I guess what the frame, I want to see what it is actually. I'm actually really curious. I feel it's at disadvantage or advantage on the frame data.
We'll see if that was like a mistake or not from the end of all that. Yeah, I want to see. I want to know if he was plus enough or minus enough, or you know what was going on right there. But Higuchi takes it either way. First game him, but it was close. I do like the OD bar usage from the side of Otani. Like you have to do that in this matchup. You have to keep your bar up in the green so you can OD fireball to get in with driver stand fierce for a bait to traverse the maze of booms that's been presented continuously. But then you see Sonic Blade from the side of Higuchi. You see OD side of Higuchi. It's really about who has a lot of bar, and obviously that favors Guile a little bit more, considering what he gets off and how much work you have to get in. But as you were talking about, that Red DP definitely clutch against some of the Sonic booms. I wonder if that's also going to make Higuchi maybe back off a little bit, time the booms a little bit different to make Otani read something wrong and get a fat punish. They have said that they are brothers. They've played together. They've been on the same team. So some of this will be, oh, I know that you like to do Sonic booms at this distance, or we practice for this matchup like this. But it's been some time. I'm assuming that's since Street Fighter V, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty important deal, I feel like, for both of these players to make their statement known now. Now I kind of wonder, like, with knowing, like, the personal data between the two players, I wonder if this is something that, like, was brought about from Higuchi in regards to playing this matchup, or if it was still, like, the decision of Nemo in regards to the point acquisition. I mean, right now it seems pretty neck and neck. We just saw it go down to the wire, at least in game one. But going into this game, Higuchi was a little bit of the aggressor at the start. Otani going for the drive rush, keeping it tight off of the low medium kick, blocked. Counter hit conversion, a couple of lights knocking at the door, and now attacking on the drive gauge. And you know what? Higuchi knows it. We might have seen a possible escape attempt, but that light ender on the Jinrai does keep him on it. So what do you do about it now? Damn, that was a big counter hit.
Ooh. Stand fierce, find the mark. It's so good about keeping the corner pressure as much as possible and varying it up too as well. And not faltering to the upside down kick. No crouching wing kicks, getting caught by that upside down kick. The Stranger Things. Once the OD coming through from Otani. He's gonna hold parry right here. Does not get baited, does get hit with the counter throw delay on the crouching medium punch. Finds the mark. Full screen once again. Again, how do you get in? Just a walk down. Like this from Otani, keeping the bar up as much as possible. Not expending it unless he wants some damage. Unless he wants to drive rush in.
2+ for your own good. Fierce into the drive rush, trying to get the throw. That trade-off Could have been so severe, but the roundhouse pretty much lethal, getting the punish counter into the run uppercut. Nice work from Otani in regards to the spacing, but now Otani actually on the back foot for a little bit. Higuchi is the one that kind of spending a lot of that drive gauge early on to try and establish the pace with a slight life lead. But yeah, roundhouse in a solid puncher time. I do like this, but I love the drive reversal even more so. And man, they are slugging it out now. No regards to either player's safety. Higuchi letting it rip pretty early on. I think that was the first OD uppercut, OD flash kick we've seen from Higuchi.
Second. Yeah, he got punished for that.
Second one? Okay.
No, he didn't get punished. He didn't get punished. My bad. But that's still, I mean, that's still, you know, not a lot considering how many times he's been on the back foot. Now he has the positional advantage. Deletes the crouching mini kick off the table. Heavy kick, level 1 Sonic Hurricane. It's almost done. More decision, backs up for the Sonic Boom pressure. Knows that he's going to have to overextend to get the win. And there it is, the crouch fierce. He'll take that trade any day of the week. Add more enough in the savings checking and also the credit card to pay for that. Set point here for Higuchi.
With the way that Guile's dressed, I doubt he's in any sort of debt. But Ken, on the other hand, let's see if he makes his money off of these throw loops, right? He's going to the casino. He's going gambling. Oof. Yep, that's the one. Higuchi, definitely the one to cry out, oh, dang it. That's level 3, right into the grill. Take him out of the barbecue. He's done, baby.
So well done, congratulations. But final game between the two, the corner pressure though, the decisions, the delays on Stand Fierce, it seems like it's like very incremental, but it's enough to put Higuchi off his game. And yeah, we do see some OD flash kicks hit. We do see some of the reversal timings off like delayed crouching medium punch also deal with some of the buttons or I guess the challenges from some Otani, but it's not enough to put Otani on the back foot. If he puts you in the corner, it's let's go to the cemetery immediately. He makes the most of the corner position. He knows that it's going to take a while to get back in. And he makes the most of it, as we've seen right there, that last game. Perfect KO. What a statement. It comes down to this. I think for Otani, you're playing perfectly. I like the walk up instead of just drive rushing up and not wasting bar, keeping the bar up for conversions, for a little bit more corner carry if need be, or you know, for the OD gen ride we see it up in the corner continuously. For Higuchi, I wonder what the switch up should be here.
He was rather aggressive, was he not? In the startup of game number 2, he was pretty antsy, I feel like, with his drive gauge, trying to get some, maybe a little bit of drive gauge, or at least force Otani into the corner a little bit sooner. And then immediately, once that didn't work, he forced himself towards the corner just because he was at the drive gauge deficit. I think that alone is a significant detail to kind of mark in regards to the current matchup. Once Higuchi kind of like backs off and is looking to like increase his drive gauge or recover his drive gauge, I should say, Otani gladly starts to rush in forward afterwards, right? With that slight advantage in drive gauge and positioning, I think that alone kind of set the tone a lot against Higuchi. But it's hard to say if that's like the definitive answer. I mean, I want to see like maybe Higuchi play it out with some of the fireballs just right off the bat and kind of be a little bit bothersome with Sonic Booms and see how Otani reacts to that information. But we'll see. Maybe Higuchi will be just as aggressive again.
I also want to see Higuchi switch it up, and when he wants to activate, make it not so obvious. We saw him try to go for that heavy kick activation with level 2. He's going to round things back when his health was low, his drive gauge was low, and enforce more of a burnout situation on Otani. Otani read that, he backdashed, hit the heavy kick, perfect read to get the punish counter and get the kill. And those moments like that is like, I know what you want. I know how you want to route it back. Like, so maybe Higuchi has to bring this in a different light in terms of if things do get dicey in terms of drive gauge or health. He's going to have to expend more bar, get close to burnout if possible. Maybe a lot of players still don't like to be in burnout. Some of the players out here still don't like to be close to burnout. For some of them, it's okay, but you can see Higuchi doesn't feel super comfortable being in burnout. You can fight in burnout. I don't want to say go into burnout on purpose. Obviously, this is Ken. Jinrai continues with pressure will be dangerous, but you might have to expend more bar than you're willing to get the victory and be a little bit less obvious. Switch it up a little bit. Use the bar as a mix-up.
He did actually mix it up, right? He started things out with the Sonic Boom. He actually took the best of both worlds in both performances of Game 1 and Game 2, and that was his opening gambit, right? He started off with the Fireball, then immediately went into the Drive Rush. Otani took a chunk of damage just based off of that single counter hit. But Otani, to be fair, is doing quite well for himself, at least in terms of trying to get the get back on the life bar. As it stands right now, resource-wise, Otani is keeping it just about tied with the drive gauge, but mistiming it is so critical. That big whiff could be everything for Otani's get back
punishable, yeah. Drake Bang. -5. See that stand light kick. Jinrai. Looking for a whip punish. Holds parry against the drive impact. Tap parry for the side of Otani. Blocks out the OD fireball. We see what he can do up in the corner. Trade.
And Otani, you already see what his motive is, right? He's also thrown out so much of the crouching medium punches in front of Higuchi's face. And this right here, this solid puncher is mostly kind of trying to be a way to get back his own drive gauge for Higuchi, right? He's just going to be a little bit of a pest throwing out some of these projectiles. He doesn't really care about Otani's drive gauge. He's looking to just recover his own at this point. And again, throwing out some of the the Sonic crosses, even OD version.
Oh, this is very imperative. Otani's trying to walk him down, holding parry as much as possible. 10 seconds on the clock right now. 4 medium kick, no counter hit. Oh, the OD hits. This is Higuchi's game to win, and he gets the air-to-air perfectly done. And using that level 2, a different sort of utility, instead of just aiming for the drive gauge to delete their drive gauge off the table, it's to bring his back so he can OD more effectively, can put some more variance on the booms. He's on set point now. So he close it out.
I love that too, running down the time. But Otani, now that he's actually taken a whiff on some of this strategy that Higuchi's been implementing, he's the one that's going to be the go-getter. He's the one that's already put Guile into the corner. But this back throw changes everything in regards to the momentum. Now Higuchi setting the tone again. We talked about it with the resources he has above. He's going to be commanding the pace with the Sonic Booms. And then once Otani commits to the Fireball Ward, that's when the level 1 starts to come out. Then the big interruption from Higuchi coming in from the solid cross. Man, this is so difficult. This is looking like American Gladiator, the way that Otani's been set up with this obstacle course. There it is. Run DP, catching one of the predictable Sonic Booms.
However, still on the back foot, back in the green is Higuchi. He's like, I'll take that, bro. Ice up level 1. A bad fireball might make you fall even further away from the screen, away from me. Seeing a maze of Sonic Booms, a buffet of booms, bro. And there's the OD, the double-double right there. Crouching medium punch, right reversal. Also for the after the -2, the throw right after. Caught up in the corner with the overhead. He blocks. Level 2, solid puncher. Chipping away and pushing this man away. Yeah, this is looking like a done deal. Jumping overhead. Oh no! Trying to get that last hit. He's back with bar to stave it off. No chip.
No way! No way! Otani coming back at the very brink of death. No resources. He didn't have drive gauge. He was in burnout. Barely any life left. The only resources he had were his 2 fists and a level 3.
Otani says, I lived. Final game, final round. But all that happened because he wasn't able to get that burnout, that last bit of chip. Higuchi, see if we can calculate it a little bit better, is going another level 2, slowly but surely, gets the counter hit. 2-piece. I've seen a lot of tap parry. We'll see if there's like a dash-up throw in response. Jump fierce, stuffing the dome. Stand light kick, yes sir, the Tatsu right after it. Oh, that punish. Caught him trying to walk back, the back throw. Oh, coming to a button. And head Tatsu for the Oki.
Oh, now he's taking him to the casino. He's like, you know what? I'm glad you're trying to help me get on my feet again. I'm gonna take this $1,000 and I'm gonna cash out of the roulette table.
In the bank. Now pops a solid puncher, taking away that drive gauge. He has to hold parry. Keep it up in the green. But this is fine for Higuchi. He's like, I'll be back in the green all the way. Oh, he's stocked. For one with punish though. OD flash kick hits against the fireball. Clean.
Oh, back throw! They're both in burnout! Oh, and that was just enough too. He ran right into it, but I don't think there was anything else Otani could have done because of the gray life that had built up from the drive reversal. That was the most epic clash that we could have asked for. Final game, final round, both in burnout, near tied in life. And also in the resources for the Super Art. Insane turnout. My God. That is easily going to be like my match of the day. Like, I don't care what else comes after that. In terms of the personal lore, in terms of the actual character lore, the way it turned out with the strategy adjustments, that was Man, there's some expletives I want to use. That is some Street Fighter, though. That is some pure Street Fighter right there.
Brother, I am with you. This match was ridiculous. The bar back and forth, masterclass in both sides of things, and how Ken should fight the matchup, how Gao should fight the matchup. But at the end of the day, the last round after Higuchi was like, bro, I can't take him down because I didn't have enough bar to kill. He came back, and then you see right there the lick back with a level 3. I'm sorry, the CA, even more damage. How much better could you end this to drive reversal, get your chip off, perfectly done. Higuchi finally gets that chip that he wanted. Well, actually, it was more on hit either way, though. Higuchi tying it up. It comes out of this. No tiebreaker. It's going to come down to this final match. Now, was it worth it to put Higuchi up? The lower match was great, but for the team, who do we send up? I feel like it. Man, I don't know, man. Is it Nemo?
I like Fudo for this one. Fudo's been an absolute machine thus far with Ed, but I think Tachikawa might be prepared exactly for that. Let's see. Yep, it's going to be the pick from Fudo coming in with Ed. Nemo had actually talked about this on his stream a while ago too, and he was actually going through I think he was going through some of his like lab stuff with like Ed, Manon, and Ken. I think he was going through like the entire list for himself too a couple of times over, but I mean, it wasn't even that deep. He just kind of like went to ranked afterwards. But I think he totally agrees with throwing out Ed against Manon just for the sheer fact that he gets to bully her from like ranges 2 and 2.5. I think there's so much that Ed can do against Manon. Sure, like Manon could maybe kind of like Renveros or actually kind of like spin through one of the flickers perhaps, but that's still mad difficult.
Yeah, it's a big risk for her. Like, the reward is not so good, and the risk is like, if he kill rushes back, it's a punish counter, the crumple right after that, it's big damage, it's a knockdown scenario, and for someone like Fudo who's going to ride that momentum continuously, I guess the other issue is, like, if the Manon doesn't work out, Tachikawa running the mirror, after we saw, I feel like EWC, and what I've seen just overall for Tachikawa, I feel like he's one of the best when it comes to the mirror. Maybe not all the time, but like in terms of like fighting Fudo, maybe this will be a bad idea. But you know, then again, Fudo, he puts such a different look on all of his characters. He's so aggressive, always has bar to work with. So we'll see if the Manon is still the pick no matter what. Something that Tachikawa had said, and I guess to reiterate, is that again, if he runs into like a mirror match or Bison, he has the Manon. He also has the classic, so if he feels like the modern Ed isn't working out, he'll go for the classic version as well. He has many different looks to show if he fights different matchups. So I'm curious to see how this is going to go. Tachikawa says, just the fact today is Ed's birthday, it'll be a bad birthday for Ed. Man said no presents at all. Wow.
That's kind of rude. That's his own character, bro.
That
is his own character. I actually want to see what the voice line is for Ed's birthday. I know, like, I wrote one, TCC wrote one. I kind of want to see like what it sounds like now. I didn't even know it was Ed's birthday.
That's brutal. Curious to see what Fudo's going to say in response to that. But man, yeah, did you forget that you play modern and classic? Ed there, Tachikawa. Fudo says, I always face unique characters, but I was expecting Manon from other tournaments, so it's okay. It's all right.
Isn't that kind of like weird? Like when you see a character up on the screen as a competitor, and you're like, most of the time you're stressing because you already know what to anticipate for the meta. Once you see Manon, you're just like, yeah, that's all right. I'm feeling okay.
It's okay. You know, people may say that, but you know, it's like you're a little bit more relaxed because you know what the character can do compared to other characters. You might see like an Akuma or a Bison, and you're sweating. But you see him and all, you're like, this isn't so bad. Like, it's raining, but it's not pouring. However,
I think you're like not really stressing because you know exactly what the other characters can do. Like, you know what to expect from an Akuma and a Bison. Like, most of the time, though, even if you don't expect like anything crazy from Manon, you're just kind of like, I'll be all right with that. Man, he took a page out of IDOM's book. That's definitely looking like some Cream City Convergence type tactics against Samurai.
Unfortunately, was not able to hit anything at all. Fudo's right with that drive impact right back. Look at this, a burnout Baron. That is Ed. He going for the flicker pressure for days. Finds a forward fierce to drive impact. Clean game here from Fudo. Too ready with it. And you don't have the defenses like other characters. You only have the bar at the bottom. Reversal. On the back foot is not where you want to be. It's Manon. Does land the command grab. Another one.
Damn. That hit from behind the shoulder, still able to get the blitz. Insane. Get to follow the fireball as well. Drive rush forward. What do you do after this, Fudo? Yeah, you're going to keep him in check, but how so? Tachikawa still on the defensive end. Has to eat that string.
So I'm afraid about that heavy kick. I'm afraid of it getting hit with the flicker. I mean, as you said, outrange 2 and maybe 3. Also, character can play just fine. But now we're in. We've got 4 medals. Dash up, command grab, you're dead or the dead. 5 medals in the final round. Not looking so good for Fudo. Level 3 also gets juiced up by the medals as well in this season. So for good reason, don't get hit with that level 3. It's going to hurt.
This guy's got true grappler brain, I got to say. Tachikawa, imagine if he picked Zangief.
Don't give him ideas. Please don't give him ideas.
I'm not saying anything to him. Oh, he's got to be dead after this. With level 3 on deck. All right, so immense damage. Fudo still sitting at a perfect. The drive gauge replenishing. Tachikawa is going to be in so much trouble with all of those factors in place right now. Also facing the corner as well. What do you do once Fudo puts you out in burnout? It doesn't even matter. That single hit confirm also was more than enough. Is that a double perfect?
A double perfect in an anchor match? See, this is what you do, Vicious. You pick a different character right now because I don't think Manon, it's the worst thing for him. I think it's a, well, you know what? Never mind. Tachikawa, maybe he found something, but I don't think it's looking too good right now. Fudo, too strong up in this matchup. He knows where to play. He knows how to take advantage when given the chance. ODDP, we get a command grab against it. That's the problem with Manon. You're not dealing a ton of damage on punish counters or, you know, other situations. You're just gaining the medals more often than not, so you can set up for success. Drive impact right back after the button. He's able to cancel that and respond in kind. It's like a blitz. Throw? No, it's a button instead.
I thought he was just going to hold it all the way to get some of his drive gauge back. But it's fine. Anti-air. Get the command grab, level 3 now. Drive rush forward, again, do it again. And that was the biggest threat, and Fudo snipped it out. You saw the startup of the command grab. Fudo 2 steps ahead. That would have been killed. That would have been lethal, too.
Yeah, you're right. And 4 medals next round. We'll deny the resources when you're fighting Manon as much as possible. Fudo's trying to do so, stand light kick. One thing that she does have is not damage, but she can definitely interrupt drive rush better than many other players, or characters, I should say. Medium, stand light kick. See it from Idom. You see it from many other players. You get in that perfect range, but not strange to see those buttons utilized when they see the green. OD, level 2. Going to do hands like NyQuil. DP, how many reps? Not too bad here. You can build up some damage and some bar buildup at the bottom. The corner carry is what's the most important thing.
What do you do about this? Locked up at the level 2, has to hold the flicker as well, and I love that, kind of just baiting out Tachikawa little by little, that medium and even the light flicker. Damn, that was also a very delayed uppercut. He thought he got the double-double, but no, sir. Still waiting at the drive-thru. There it is. Ed pulls up. Trying to get them animal style, the forward throw.
Level 2 on the deck. Let's see how it connects. Fudo maybe looking for a punish count off the flicker first to start it off, or later on in the match, but it feels so dominant. We get like 1 round from Tachikawa, and then Fudo just takes it back expeditiously. Does land a command grab though. Tachikawa, drive rush, medium this time instead of a command grab. Still turns whenever he can. Heavy kick to catch the walk back. Target combo did not connect. Drive rushes in, fireball ender. Almost get with punish.
Heavy's whipping. I love that back throw, and I love this. It's going to go past him. Yes, sir. Tachikawa, a lot of damage incoming. You got to go into level 3. Reason being, the burnout is so essential. While Fudo has 0 bars to his name, this could be a great sequence for Tachikawa to get this game, actually. The drive rushes forward. Let's see what happens. No, it's going to just be just that. Yeah, I like that. I like the whole thing. Tachikawa is still going to bring Fudo to his knees and takes it down 1 game apiece. All right, so he's schooling us a little bit. He's schooling everybody a little bit.
All right. Tachikawa, do your thing, bro. Do your thing. I do like the reads and the switch up against like some of the like after command grab things that we have saw from Tachikawa. Sometimes he'll steal a turn and go for like a dash up command grab. Last time he did drive rush medium. Instead, they've been able to stop the drive rush, but better start here for Fudo. Forcing the drive reversal. Counter hit, anti-air, of course. Fudo is in the perfect distance to land those cycle uppers Ooh, he's able to get the pickup. Oh my God, Fudo is ridiculous. He even go for a throw. He got to pick him off the kill rush.
That was actually so slick. So he wanted to go for the throw while the parry was active, but as soon as he saw the drive rush, he switched up the pace into the uppercut. That is so sick because you have time because of the screen freeze.
Reactions. Backs up for the anti-air. Back in the corner. We saw this move before. Tachikawa, show me something different. And there's so many different looks in terms of like the flicker that you can't get the drive impact consistently. As I was about to say, Tachikawa looking for that option. And right now, the option you should be looking for right now is possibly the character select screen, level 3. Stringing him up with Fudo. That corner float is getting even more deadly.
There's some moments where Tachikawa really has like his genius plays, and then there are moments where Fudo truly becomes the attack on heavy tank. This guy has been so difficult to keep still. This guy has been so difficult to kind of like download. Most of the downloads are going to be corrupt anyway, because Fudo, he's just, he's so uncalculated. I mean, not uncalculated. He's so unpredictable, and he's so thoroughly calculated. There's so many moments where Fudo just kind of runs you over, and you're just stuck. This is the first time, again, Tachikawa being the main battle consultant for a lot of these players is looking for advice from his teammates.
So you have to do sometimes, like, should I switch? Should I stay on this character? What do I do better? But as you mentioned, like, Fudo's doing such a good job of being the proper space and place to land the DPs. That's not an easy thing to do. DPs are definitely on the slower side, so you have to have the right positioning. You have the right timing. Fudo's been perfect with that, and he's not been able to be read in terms of like a drive impact landing continuously against him, like against a button or a flicker. He'll put out flicker, he'll delay it a little bit, go for a button, maybe he'll go for nothing, maybe he'll go for like another flicker, try to steal another turn. It's been so hard to read that Tachikawa. You saw him try to swing the drive impact, and she got some distance on the drive impact, but wasn't able to hit anything. And that's something you would typically do against Ed. Fudo understands the weakness, understands where to stand in general, understands to be outside the distance where his character can outbox this character. And as soon as he got checked with the drive rush, he was like, okay, cool. I don't need a drive rush in. I got the fireballs. I could walk him down. I'll wait for Tachikawa to overextend on his side of things and punish him, get the knockdowns, and go to town, get the Oki, get the punishes off that we have seen Fudo up 2 games. We'll see if we get a switch from here from Tachikawa, or if he just stays with the Manon, tries to refine the playstyle.
I think that might be the deliberation at hand for Tachikawa, hence why we've been taking a little bit longer than expected. Mano did work out for at least one of the games. I think if you have to make that switch, it has to be now, considering Ed under the hands of Fudo is so commanding at the moment, right? Being 2 games up. Or sorry, 1 game up. I think going into modern Ed might be all right. I would be thoroughly surprised if he didn't. But we'll see. We'll see if that's going to be the case. Right now, we're still waiting on the decision from Tachikawa, still consulting with his teammates, as Fudo had just run him over in game number 3, or game number 4, excuse me. That's the only way to try to put it, right? He didn't indeed run him over, but it's going to be the Manon pick still.
Sticking with the Manon, let's see if it works out. Saishunkan Kumamoto will get a walk away with 30 points to their name. Tachikawa's got to bring this back. Game point Fudo. Combo resets. Walks back, gets the crouching medium punch starter. Cycle blitz right after, and in the corner again. Early tech.
The lockdown right now from Tachikawa didn't last too long. Fudo now a little bit low on the drive gauge. Coming in now.
Maybe fine. Yeah, burnout is here. How do you get in though? Look at the buttons here from Fudo. Stand medium kick continuously. Keep him out. Look at that poke. I wish you'd come through. My hit confirm into level 1. Ooh. Let's get the whip punish. Command grab lands.
Oh, was that far enough? It's not! And you know what? Tachikawa thought he had it as well. You didn't even see it from his reactions up on the camera. He thought he was just within range to get the drive impact play.
on set point. Did you see how he hit that stand medium kick? And again, hits the perfect button to use in this matchup. Too far out in the distance. For any other button, Manon not able to strike back with the quickness against that stand medium kick, and that outboxer, along with the flicker, has been giving so much pause here to Tachikawa. That may be the money button up in this matchup. We've seen a few whip punishes here and there, but not consistent enough to put Fudo on the back foot. Drive rushes in, drive reversal, baits it out, command grab lands. 4 medals on the deck. Try to bait out a DP, Fudo not biting.
A single hit confirmed, especially from a heavy. If Fudo manages to get a big punish counter, it will be lights out for the likes of Tachikawa. So he has to tread carefully with Manon. That's a great start! You might be able to get this! Oh. You let him live. You let him live. You might die for this.
Don't regret it. Don't let it be you. Burnout. You're fighting this kind of character with a flicker. Fireball, laying down the pressure. You might go in soon. Drive rush, light. Drive impact. No, too far for the throw. To back throw. It's a kill because it's a punish counter.
Yeah, he was 2+. He was way 2+. Tachikawa was still in burnout. Excellent tech against Fudo. Tachikawa. Another big tech for Tachikawa. That could have been a back throw if anything, but Fudo still trying to maintain this lead. He's still trying to be a nuisance with the flicker within this distance. That counter hit is going to be everything for Tachikawa, sitting at 5 medals now. Fudo can't sit still exactly for this reason. That's command grab 1. If another one comes out, he's dead. OD version 2 would be a little bit faster, but the big interruption now from Fudo. He has to spend it. I totally understand. He wants to get this drive gauge, but right now, it's a little bit of a freeze up. Okay, I was gonna say, the spectator client, I understand. I am just in awe. We're switching stages too? That's sick. I love it. Oh, the punish counter.
Different dimension. Oh, let's find the anti-air though. Cycle blitz right after. Nice and high for that to fly. Waits him with the command grab. What? Yo, Tachikawa? Got the grappler brain for sure.
That was the different timeline. There was a timeline in one of the stages where Fudo had taken down Tachikawa. We had to change and shift into an alternate dimension and see more Street Fighter 6. That's the only plausible explanation. We had to reach into like the different part of the timelines where Tachikawa was the anchor being and one with Manon, right? We need the stock of Manon to skyrocket for the sake of Street Fighter's future. I get it. I totally understand.
Gotta switch up a little bit. I get it. What a decision. Wake up command grab, bro. Like that I gotta feel like that's one of those things where it's like, forget the character. It's like the player-to-player aspect that Tachikawa is so good about reading. That's why he's a coach. That's why he's so good about breaking down, players and things like that. That's why he's hired so often by so many teams, especially when his team was out last year, and why so many players look to him for information. He's been downloading Fudo, and as he builds up more of the command grabs, you see Fudo being like, oh man, I got an antsy. He's checked the challenge with lights, where the command grabs run even more so. And I also like the distance where he's starting to jump in. It feels like he's starting to get a little bit closer to threat and drive rush medium, or like a jumping at an angle where DP might whiff, and he can get like a punish on the recovery of the DP. So it feels like he's looking out for those anti-air options that Fudo's presenting and forcing Fudo to move around a lot more where Fudo doesn't want to move around. Where before Fudo was either stuck in the ground where he can anti-air perfectly, or he was moving around on his own volition.
Right, and that also makes it just so much more difficult to kind of like catch on to, right? It's so difficult to pin Fudo down, but I think Tachikawa, again, once he finds a way to kind of pin Fudo from like moving around too, that's where the command grabs really start to shine. And I love that. I think that really highlights the character and the potential of the comeback, right? Being able to net some of these medals, finding all of that completely worth it. It's hard to kind of like justify it because again, there's a lot of work that goes into getting these medals and identifying those situations. But man, I think the payout it's pretty decent. I think it's a pretty substantial payout.
Where you stop feeling sorry for Manon when she lands the medals, the level 5s and things like that. Yes, she has to work to build those up, but the damage that's dumped out right after is and then you play around the fear of that damage. You play around the idea of that damage. Even more so, I think in a longer set, it kind of helps her out a little bit, where you're like, if I get these medals, they start to see the power of what happens when the command grab lands. When that level 5 or level 3 juiced up as well. I think that's also helping out as the match goes on. Final game. Didn't think I was going to say this. Manon from Tachikawa put in some work against Fudo. See if he's able to anti-air. No, that deep jump heavy kick. But that also helps out in terms of making it hard to anti-air if you're not on the front foot of things.
Well, it does reduce her jump arc from a pretty significant distance, actually, because of the fact that Ed had committed to a flicker prior that only allowed Tachikawa to really get big damage off of that single jump in. And now, oh, that's actually mad unfortunate. I don't know what the neutral jump was in anticipation for, but definitely nailed Fudo. It also nailed him again, committing to the flicker. Now, that wasn't even Fudo's fault. That was Tachikawa just throwing his guess into the wind. Again, the jump over with the roundhouse, trying to catch Fudo off guard. But look at the damage on that. Already level 5, by the way. This might be Tachikawa's game to win at this pace.
5 medals, level 3, punish. Right in for the sweep. That's the sweep. Tachikawa with the command grab. The jump back, resets with the drive rush. Ooh, the jump back again, back in with the jabs. Trying to find an opening. And the board, the bottom, the jump in. OD, you better spin that board the bottom. Manan, Tachikawa. Can you believe it? Taking down Fudo. I can't. You at home can't. No shot.
I would love to apologize to the country of France. I didn't know you raised such warriors to enter the Street Fighter tournament. I was not familiar with your game. All jokes aside, Tachikawa, yo, that was actually kind of sick. If you think about like how simplistic of a strategy that was, it's like, you know what? I'm gonna use my roundhouse. I'm gonna use my jump roundhouse as the opening gambit. I'm gonna catch Fudo off guard. We've been playing the ground game for so long. I've been playing at his pace. Let's see if he can catch up to my dance. I'm actually the ballet person. Let me see if you got the twinkle toes for me, brother. That was actually a smooth play also from Tachikawa. Just all jokes aside again. You're playing such a neutral heavy ground game. You've set that precedence for so long. You're already applying pressure by having 2 games under your belt against Fudo down to the last game. Being that like kind of unhinged towards the end was a beautiful transition from the first couple of games too. So I love that. I love that from Tachikawa. Well deserved.
One man woke up command grab. That is the definition of unhinged. But the reads that Fudo was just like not able to calculate what he wanted to do on wake up. Like after the game started going on more and more, I think that put Fudo on the back foot. That's why I also feel like because the dominance was happening from the air, it allowed the ground game to be a little more solidified. We started seeing the drive impact hit at the very end right there. And that goes to show where Fudo before wasn't getting hit with the drive impact at all. He was thriving, he was flourishing, he was absolutely fine fighting this matchup. At the very end, he was like, dang, I had the drive impact, I pressed the buttons at the wrong time, the timings are all off, the rhythm is just all discombobulated. That goes to show like these simple strategies, like working out to put the player on the back foot, are helping to break down the matchup, even if it's not in her favor or whatever, or if it wasn't before. Like Tachikawa operating around that play, the player to player, understanding Fudo's tendencies, and understanding where to jump in, walking forward a little bit more to jump in, and just like wait for him to commit a little bit or read the intentions of the flickers. Fantastic. Absolutely amazing play from Tachikawa. I will never talk mess about a player picking a character from now on. Y'all just do what you got to do out here. You got it.
If he does it again next week, I'm definitely saying the same things. Manon? Are you kidding me? I'm going to be saying the exact same song and dance. I'm going to lie to you, man. I will just say this. Man, this guy could play. This Tachikawa is just so intelligent. His understanding of player tendencies goes far beyond a normal player. This guy's just not a normal player. Like, Tachikawa is actually insane, like in the greatest way possible. But like, this is the perfect example of like utilizing all of the tools of your character. Most people kind of like write off Manon, and I totally get it. But if you think about like also just the simple factor of her jump arc being drastically reduced by throwing out the jump roundhouse, that was the bane of a lot of players' anti-airs in Season 1. Let me remind you, a lot of folks had a very difficult time consistently anti-airing this character because of that jump roundhouse. That has been such an important tool towards the end of this game. And it was such a basic understanding of it too. It's like, you know what, why don't I really test Fudo and see if he's got like the anti-airs, right? Ed doesn't have the fastest DP, right? He can do it pretty deep, he can do it pretty late, etc. But those two things alone in the formula, it's like, all right, I think in terms of like success rate, I think I'll be having a pretty decent time getting in by throwing out something that reduces my jump arc that drastically. And Tachikawa, again, made the most of it towards the end of that game.
Even at the beginning, he was like trying to jump in, wasn't able to find the timings. He was like, okay, let me push forward a little bit. Let me like move forward just a little bit so I can switch up the timing. So he also has to worry about drive rush medium. We also saw that come into the equation as well. And then when Fudo got antsy and he started to dash up, he went first stand light kick to check the drive rush. And then you saw Fudo breaking down, like raw sweeps and things like that, making risky options to get the knockdown so he can get aggressive. And that just did not do anything to Tachikawa. He's still playing his game. Like, he's still playing absolutely fine. Let's go through the interview real quick. Mochi was sitting on the bench. He said, I rooted for the team again this time, but just fantastic. I don't want to fight any of my teammates anymore. KB says, I really want to fight, or I wanted this first game, and I was able to win here, so great job to Tachikawa as well. Otani says, I almost could have completed being a bigger brother. I'll try next time. So he was almost there. He recognized that he was so close. What about? I think that is like the marquee match. Even though this one was amazing, the lore behind it kind of sets it over the edge. Lastly, Tachikawa says, we're expecting only 10 points this episode, and Fudo was so harsh for our team, so we plan to gamble on Manan. The house always wins, it looks like. Tachikawa walks away with the money. Fudo goes home a little bit broker, so is his team, 30-10. What a gamble.
It paid off. It paid off immensely. In fact, it paid off so well that it put them into a very favorable position in the rankings. They are currently in first place with 75 points to their name, knocking down Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto to 65 points at second place. That is great considering they were on the away side. So again, how did it happen? You can see it right here. We even see the stats as well with the amount of drive bars that were played out, the drive impacts, 3 out of 3 from the side of from Fudo. I want to know what the anti-airs were. So anti-airs only 2 out of 3. That couldn't be, no way. Let me see, 1, 2, 3. That's a difficult one. I'm actually kind of surprised it's at that percentage because there were moments where Tachikawa had jumped in 2 times over to like catch Fudo off guard. I mean, do you count it as more so if it's a punish? Like if you know Tachikawa gets a punish, does that really count towards the anti-air meter or the anti-air counter? Who knows? But I will tell you this, those jump-ins paid off tenfold for not only Tachikawa, but for the rest of the team. NagoyaNTPOJA. I love their performance this week. Looking forward to the next time they duke it out in the second half of the round robin.
Can't wait to see what the rebuttal will be. Also, can't wait to see what Tachikawa is going to bring to the table. You know, a lot of people, when they look at Division S, they see a lot of DLC, and that makes sense, but I like the switch up. You mentioned this earlier. People pulling out other characters for other things as we get further and further in the meta. Tachikawa breaking down the player to player. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me a little bit of like Justin Wong. Every time I talk to him, he's like, people just need to break down matchups and like focus on strong things for characters per matchup to be better at matchups. That's something he has said continuously, and you see the battle consultant utilizing it very, very well. I cannot wait to see what people say about this match when they watch it a little bit later on today when it comes to that Manan play. I can't wait to see what people think the result's going to be afterwards.
Looking forward to it, to be honest with you, man. It's been quite the journey already, even though it's only been like a couple of days. In total, we've had like 4 days of Street Fighter League already. Right? It's been completely unpredictable thus far. Day 3 shaping up to be pretty damn exciting. The first game, the first team battle, I didn't think it would go down the way it would. I thought it would be maybe even like a tie, but in terms of how it is right now, it's been pretty darn good. As we get ready for the rest of it, we do have to talk about Street Fighter Duel, the inclusion of Luke. So technically it is a collab because Street Fighter Duel has been very much so Street Fighter 4 themed. You can even see it just right out the gate with the font and also the music selection. The character selection in there. I think it's the last time I'll ever see the twins in a fighting game, quote unquote fighting game, because Street Fighter Duel is more of like an RPG. It'd be like that sometimes, I get it. But yeah, no, I mean, like all jokes aside too, we do have a very big support system coming in for Street Fighter League Japan. And they're kind of looking to do the same with last year's promotions. You can check it out over at Capcom_esports. They do a lot of giveaways and a lot of activations with their teams, as well as like the caravans involved, the organizations, as well as the fans, right? Being able to give away a lot of neat stuff coming into it. But with that in mind, again, we're giving you all the action. We come back. We have match number 2 with Good 8 Squad going up against Detonation FocusMe. So don't go anywhere. Get those snacks, get that water, hydrate yourselves. We'll see you on the other side of this break. Stay tuned.
このインターバルの後、マッチ2グッド8スクワット対デトネーションフォーカスミー、こちらの模様をお届けしていきます。再開予定時刻は20時25分頃を予定しております。それでは一旦失礼いたします。
Yeah, come on. Everybody come alive real quick. Battle of the strong, survival of the fit. Take your best shot, hope you don't miss. combo. I ain't never scared, never quitting is the motto. Come on, everybody come alive real quick. Battle of the strong, survival of the fit. Take the next shot. Yeah, come on, everybody come alive real quick. Battle of the strong, survival of the fit. Take your best shot, hope you don't miss. And you can't among us. Take it much farther. Fast with the hands, E Honda. Defend my legacy with strength and honor. I'm the greatest ever. I'm the fire breathe. Come down, see. No one can't reach this. It's a showdown. This is my arena.
盛り上がってるじゃないか。俺は旅を続ける。新しい場所で新しい風に吹かれて、いい戦いをして気分よく飲んで食べて、全く悪くない。一杯おごるぜ。Get ready! You're done for one more. You're ready for a beatdown. Are you okay? Yeah, baby.
We're not done yet. More Street Fighter League action coming right at you. Good 8 Squad versus Detonation FocusMe is the second match of today. Myself, Seiko, will join with Vicious. Take a look at the Good 8 Squad. Look at those boys out here with the monk coming down from the mountains. Mochi, who recently got a top spot out at the World Warrior doing some work with the Sim. Now, let's move on to the Cosmic Buster himself, Guerra on the Bison, and is formulating an Ed in the background. We'll see if that comes to fruition at all with those fists. Beyond that, it's a singularity. It's the one who has found a single component to his game plan, Akuma, from Asada Kawano, the Evo champion himself. And last but definitely not least, leading the charge, leading the team is the honest hero. But nothing honest about that mix when it comes to Rashid. It's Gachikun, the Capcom Cup champion, a team full of absolute killers and a component of amazing characters beside them. We'll see how they operate against Team Detonation. FocusMe.
Damn. I like that. What is it? The Bull Hancock? I see you. All right.
Hancock? Yeah.
Nice work, Fugera. I see where your allegiance lies for the Straw Hat crew. Detonation FocusMe is going to be coming up from the home side. They get all the advantage of picking out some of the possible counter picks with a well-rounded squad as well. Not only just the players, but the characters themselves. Let's take a look at who is a part of this tremendous powerhouse team. Detonation FocusMe stepping up to the plate. Mr. Optimal, it's Machibo, coming in with every Shoto play imaginable. So he is going to be starting things off for our optimal roster with the Trickster follows suit, the babyface Trickster, excuse me, Takuchi John, with the Rashid play, as well as Naomi, former Evo Japan champion, stepping up to the plate with the Shippujin right. Has another shoulder to back it up. But, of course, all led by the Golden Smile. Itabashi Zangief coming in with his meal ticket as the leader of Detonation FocusMe. We talked about this composition before. We've seen them shine these last couple of days, but the sun just wasn't bright enough. They're currently sitting at 35 points, just a little bit away from Good 8 Squad. They are 15 at the deficit. What do you think is going to happen once we see this roster from Good 8 Squad? What the counter is going to be like? We have no idea. I want to see how much Zangief really does for a team like this. The away side, Rashid, Akuma, Bison with Gachikun, Kawano, Pogera, Senkola. Your thoughts?
You know, I'd like to see Geef against maybe the Rashid. To be honest, I think that was at least a matchup. A lot of the Rashid players complain about that. Maybe not the worst matchup in the world, but his neutral is really good against Rashid. Rashid not having the best buttons, and the stand medium crouching light punch is really good. Stand fierce as well against the fireballs. You can't throw out fireballs at all if you have level 2. I'd like to see Itabashi go up first. However, wouldn't be a bad idea against a Bison. I don't think that matchup's too bad for either side of things. That could be a nice and even matchup. And as the matchup goes on, how many times can you bet against a gambler on the other side of things? It's going to be Itabashi off the rip. Never mind. Throw it out the window. Itabashi going up just fine off the first match. So it will be against the Rashid, against Gachikun.
Yeah, I didn't disagree with that analysis, actually. I think for both Rashid and Bison, I think that would have been just fine. I think that would have been a really, really great way to get Itabashi to just stack some points. But if he feels the confidence going up against someone like Gachikun, I think this is great. I think having somebody get rid of one of the biggest threats on the team, why not go for it? Granted, it's only 10 points, but in the long run, I think that's what they're looking for. We're starting to see the meta further develop for a lot of the Zangief players. All things considered, we're starting to see that character really, really shine with everything that's been going on in Season 2. I think this might just be a pick from Itabashi that'll more so set himself up for matches to come in the round robin. But with that in mind too, I kind of wonder how they're going to set themselves up for the anchor pick later on, right? Who's going to be the one to face off against the Bison? But talking about this matchup in general, I think this is something that was really shown off between Dual Kevin and Mena RD. I think Bison can do a lot to kind of stuff out some of the fireball game in terms of the range that Zangief likes to play at. I think it's just as good as the range that Rashid wants to play at, right? Rashid is like a pretty much complete kit. His normals are pretty long-reaching as well. But Zangief, he's more of like a heavy hitter, right? He's going to be hitting you a couple of times over from long distances. He could utilize the armor as well to stop some of the limbs that Rashid's throwing out there. And also just the threat of the command grab alone is enough to like force Rashid to play on the back foot majority of the time, so long as he hasn't scored that knockdown yet.
That's the fear. It's like, don't get knocked down. Like, Rashid will definitely get nasty with it. We've seen the Oki, we've seen the corner play. But, you know, in the neutral, like, I think it's fine. As Rashid, you're looking for, like, heavy kick to punish counter a limb. But we've seen, like, mid RD backdash and find, like, a sweep whip punish on the recovery of the heavy kick preemptively and predominantly, like, stuffing that whenever he can. So, like, even that button doesn't feel comfortable. But Rashid can definitely put some pause on what Geef wants to do. If he puts him up in the corner, like, all you have is like a reversal SPD if you're able to land it. But other than that, like, you don't have much defense in your name. And so if level 2 does get unleashed from the side of Rashid, you can hit level 2 on your side of things possibly, or if he gets close enough, OD SPD could be coming through from the side of Itabashi's Geef as well. It's like a defensive tactic to delete that level 2 off the table, and then while it goes away, it's like, okay, neutral's reset, I've got my damage on the deck, so you can't even get close to him. Getting close to him is a big fear of Rashid. So we'll see what happens in this match. The interview says, Gachikun says, I really thank Itabashi for finding me, but today I'm his opponent, so I'll win. Itabashi says, I really respect Gachikun's amount of practice. I hope it'll be a good game.
I would imagine so. I think Gachikun again is in regards to like the game sense and the overall study of the field too. I think he's one of like the highly, if not one of the almost highest informed players that we could ever ask for amongst the elites, right? I think his work ethic is absolutely immeasurable. It's so hard to even like digest how much work he's really putting in outside of his streams, right? This man is a full-on family man on top of it. Itabashi Zangief. Itabashi's been playing this game for a while, man. I don't know what else he does in his personal time, but it's got to be Street Fighter. So here we go. Let's see how game 1 goes between the two players.
I like that enhanced eagle spike, so there's no way to drive rush in. Doesn't have the distance to do so. Hands make it hard to punish. You're free to throw out the fireball game right now until level 2 becomes a problem. But again, one stand fierce at the right range or jump medium kick, that thing like a dive kick will hurt.
Oh. Too far for the rest of it. That medium punch still a great punish counter though because of the range it has onto the hell step. Still catching Gachikun off guard. Interesting that he actually even went for that. That was a great confirm from Itazan. But now we hit that side switch. Man, a big scramble already.
Trying to find his way in with the fireball so I get that stand medium, but now he has 4 medium punch against the stand medium. Hits a level 2, does it on knockdown. I like this. Hold parry, back throw. That's hold parry again, and no, he's out of there. He's actually out of there. Wow.
That was kind of sick. Perfect parry into throw. Damn. Itabashi. That was so slick.
Level 2 on his side of things. That means he can delete the fireball off the table, try to dash up. No SPD just yet. 20 seconds on the clock. Careful with those fireballs.
Yeah, with level 2 stocked up, Itazan would be able to snipe it out. That trade so much better for Gachikun and checking him at a very last second too. I think that was actually pretty low to the ground. Gachikun does get the punish counter with the OD spinning mixer. Itazan now still sitting at 2 bars, hence why Gachikun's so reluctant to throw out anything else but normals thus far. A very, very delayed anti-air. That was a punish counter, by the way. Speaking of punish counters, we do get the roundhouse and knock up Itazan. It's now going to be Gachikun's turn to play. The low forward, Arabian Cyclone, he's backing away. Little damage by little.
I like that. Close range with the fireballs. Uh-oh, too close. SPD, too close to me. That resets back to neutral. Dash up. Gets the counter right after the 3-piece. Dash up again. Plus, blocks everything out. 6 in the crouching light kick and a headbutt and an OD lariat to seal the deal. Itazan with bar bursting at the bottom. Level 3 at any point could be dangerous here for Gachikun. Could use it in level 2 once again if he wants to.
He has to find an optimal opening. This is going to be off the overhead. He's not going to set up just yet. A little bit more damage. This could be a sequence and a half. It's going to be a bunch of throws until at 50%. Do you set up now? You keep throwing. You go, Gachikun. You keep on throwing. That's it.
Caught him on the other side with the stand fierce and fantastically keeping the right distance. goal of him to keep such a close range distance against his character with the fireballs, to stand fierce, the heavy kick punish counter, but the timings have been so hard for Itazan to read at the very end right there. And again, throwing him over and over again. I'm betting Itazan was like, okay, when's that level 2 coming through, bro? We're gonna drop that level 2. We're gonna throw me and backdash in a level 2, and then I'll hit my level 2. But it never came through. And again, Rashid's corner pressure, so hard to deal with, especially if you don't have a reversal. Nothing for them to like worry about. Like, what are you worried about? Wake up SPD possibly, but they may hold north to avoid that. That's a risk for your side of things as well. So like, again, as we mentioned on the back foot, Geep doesn't have good defense at all. It caught up in the corner against Rashid, not looking so good, and Gachiku takes advantage. First game to him.
It's a little bit difficult for Inabashi to kind of make that decision on defense too. There is a moment where he could possibly do a jump cancel SPD to avoid the throw entirely and get his counter in, but that's also such a strict maneuver to even try to implement. And also you have to kind of make that read as to whether or not Gachiku would commit to the throw loops, right? So those are the two big factors that maybe was just in the back of Inabashi's mind, just never really got around to it and didn't even try to delay the tech. Very, very difficult indeed. But Inabashi currently trying to work on something. He's looking, I think he's maybe trying to be honest with you, the way he's looking right now on his camera, I might imagine he could have a little bit of like a mechanical issue with his controller. I don't know if that's like a true thing right now because I don't see his teammates talking to him. I haven't seen him really look at the camera. He might be focusing on his fight stick currently because we've seen his custom fight stick before. I'm not entirely sure. It could even be him just kind of going through his notes on his phone because he's done that like for so many years. He's always brought like his phone with him on the stage, and he'll take his time kind of like scuffing through his notes, etc. So that could be like another thing too. But either way, Inabashi not really doing much about the throw loops really had me going for a loop. I mean, I don't think the level 2 was going to be coming out, or at least going to be too bad. Like if it came out within the first 2 throws, you're thinking to yourself, all right, much less to worry about. I have some extra health on me. Sure, I'm in the corner, but the big threat is out of there. That's totally fine. But going throw after throw after throw after throw without any response, that's where it's really like, okay, I'm actually going to be pretty shook after this.
Yeah, to take that many throws and for someone to throw you that often is almost audacious. Like, how dare you throw me that continuously? 4 throws, try to go for another one, and then he went for the stand fierce for the follow-up right after when he tried to jump out. Like, that is, it's just like something like I don't think Itazan would feel like he should be put through. You know, it's like you're like a little bit offended. But someone like Itazan, I'm surprised that he didn't gamble on any other option. I feel like after a while, someone like Itazan would usually try to do something on wake up, anything, like a backdash. I know you can't backdash as Geef because you don't have, the same sort of backdash speed like other characters. But maybe even neutral, whatever it may be, like it doesn't matter. Switching it up at all did not happen from him until the very end, and I'm very surprised to see that. Let's see if Inabashi can run it back and show something different. If he can gamble on something different, or he's going home broke. There's a heavy kick again. There's the fireball though. A stand kick to reassess. More buttonsy is Inabashi.
Yeah, this is going to be a comfortable position also for Zangief to kind of play if footsies are going to be the game. The amount of damage he gets to deal out as well, some with the drive gauge and the health.
All this real estate to play with if you're Rashid. You have the OD fireballs to switch it up now. It's a little bit of a punish. Stand fierce finds the mark with the buffer. Eagle spike right after the Oki. Knockdown. Frame kill for the jab. 6 in the crouching leg kick. That's the gambler I want to see. Put on red. You are dead. Watch this, asshole. Bam! The jackhammer lands, and there we go. Inabashi says no more. Pressure up in the corner.
I love that attempt too from the side of Gachiku, but still the lariat still, happens to prevail with the activity behind it. No punish. Yeah, you can't. This is way too far. It was enhanced. Oh, the big whiff punish off of the fears too. We talked about the corner positioning. Now Gachiku couldn't keep him contained. At least up until this point, had to spend meter to keep the containment. Now, level 2. What are you gonna do about that twister? Yo, that was actually mana for. That was his boot going past Gachiku's face. How did that even happen?
the correct read, I felt, but the timing was off. I got to see the hitbox on that one. I got to watch that back on CFN because very, very strange interaction. He had the right read, just the wrong timing, set point, and then level 2 on the way from Gotcha-kun.
This is looking so tough right now for Ibizan. There's just so much of a wall that Gotcha-kun has put up, even more so from the spinning mixer. Can't even take this to the skies. And that was a very significant delay on the forward medium punch too. The Cyclone coming on. You heard the flash.
Got caught. Punish counter as well. Backdash level 2. Ibizan trying to go for a reversal. Command grab. Grabbing nothing but his demons. And Gotcha-kun takes him down. That's what you expect to see in SBD when he's trying to come through, but when it's just one decision to die, like, it's not so good. And again, Geef's lacking second defense up in the corner, proves to be his defeat. Gotcha-kun taking it over Ibizan. Man, I want to see that jump back medium kick. Like, I want to see why that didn't reach. But either way, I don't think that would have changed too much. Gotcha-kun just very dominant early in the rounds with the fireballs, continuously poking away. Level 2 came into play. He had his own level 2. Was able to get it off after a throw.
I think it was just because it was kind of funky. Like when you have enhanced spinning mixer, your hurt box is like shifted over, and it's also like him kind of moving fast into the corner. I'd imagine the hitbox behind like the standing medium kick was more so like in front of Zangief's body instead of like directly below him. Right? Maybe if like another normal came out, I think he would have been able to clip it. But the fact that Rashid was already directly underneath Zangief is probably why it whiffed. Right? So 10 points. To Gryffindor, I'm totally kidding. That's 10 points to Gotcha-kun. Starting things off with good 8 squad. Now, with Kawano stepping up to the plate as a Kuma, do you send in Mr. Optimal for the mirror match? Do you send in Rashid from John Takeuchi? I wouldn't mind Ken either, but I think I'm looking at maybe John Takeuchi. Oh, it's now.
I'm too. What? That's wild too, because I feel like you send somebody that's like as aggressive as Kawano can be. And I think John Takeuchi can run at that same sort of pace. Not that Nauman can't all the time, but I feel like John Takeuchi is like, he feels like he's always on that 10 along with Kawano. But it's going to be the Nauman pick. We'll see how this works out. I mean, Nauman definitely has some good moments up in the corner, was able to take you there. But I'm wondering how it's going to operate against someone like Kawano, who is willing to go and spin his bar to get a lead and back off almost a little bit like Noah. He's got moments like Noah where he'll like go into burnout and like back up, use crouching immediate punch to stuff your drive rush, your fireball pressure, going with demon fist when you don't expect it. He is a really good all-arounder, but he does have moments where he kind of puts a lot of points into aggression where people just don't expect. We saw that with the mirror match with him and Bonchan, where he was a way more aggressive one, where Bonchan was a more defensive one. I want to see how this works out against Nauman, though.
Looking forward to it because as of late, you know, Kawano has been looking so difficult to track down. He's been so difficult to kind of get like the download upon and also like prepare for. He's given so many different looks. There's been so many instances where he plays kind of wild upon his wake up. He'll make those really heavy reads based on the amount of meter he has. He's not one to shy away from using something like an OD uppercut despite having 900 health. He's kind of taking a tune to like also playing an aggressive ground-based game as well. I wonder if he's actually going to be one to implement a lot of the sweeps that a lot of Akuma players have been taking akin to these last couple of events. I swear to you, that sweep has been a worldwide phenomenon lately. These last couple of like events, we've seen some really big utilization of roundhouses, those sweeps from further distances. It feels like I want to say it feels like Street Fighter 4 again. Like seeing, wait.
Happy birthday, dear Edo. Happy birthday to you.
You hear that's not even on the screen, bro. Thank you. I think if you're Ed players, you think that, but wow, that came out of nowhere. Okay, now, man.
That was cool. I like that.
Yeah,
that was pretty wholesome.
Yeah, all right.
Good on
Yeah. But here's the smack talk, though, here from Kawano. Since this season has started, versus Ken has been a problem that always needed an update. I'm pretty confident. I want to go back to, like, how Kawano plays a little bit. I want to see, like, how that pressure is on the ground. You know, you were talking about how the sweep is in terms of like Akuma, right? So I went to Fujimura's stream recently, and I was like, hey man, what's the sweeps about? Like, you gotta tell me, what do you do with sweep for in the nicest way possible, right? So he said that the sweep at max range, especially against like Give, is better than crouching medium kick because the punish is a lot harder. So in some cases, you're doing sweep because it's a lot harder to punish.
We'll see if it comes into play, right? So this is going to be it right here. Akuma going up against Ken. Let's see it. See if the pick pays off. Immediate drive rush out the gate from Nauman. Opening gambit to be aggressive.
That activity from the Akuma and on the fireballs too as well. You can definitely go fireball to fireball this man, but not so close to jump. Fierce lands, get the side switch off the Dragon Lash. OD, DP, interrupts the drive rush though with the jabs. Go for the throw. Yes, sir. Off the Oki.
Yeah, we've seen Kawano blow that up plenty of times. Low forward into the fireball. It's not going to be a true string. The big counter hit standing light kick. I said it was big, but it was big enough. This guy, Nauman, he's trying to get lucky with a lot of these fireballs, but it's Kawano with the due diligence to know exactly where the string is true and where it's false. I like that. We talked about that bust out with OD uppercut. Do it again! Yes, sir! That's the big risk we were looking for.
It's gonna feel bad not be able to punish this character that if you do catch him lacking on that DP, it's a big amount of damage, but it hasn't happened. Another one! Oh my god, Vicious, what's in the water? What is he drinking right now to be able to have such confidence to hit that OD DP with such a involvement? He doesn't care. Finds the crouching kick, Tatsu, sweep. Another interaction could be able to still do it. He's got the bar to for that level 3. Now I'm gonna bring this back. Might have to spend some OD gauge to fight back against the fireballs. He's eating them right now.
Yeah, Nauman can't throw a fireball. This is gonna be so tough. That was actually kind of tricky. The OD one, yes, fast enough. But the fact that Kawano is in critical art territory, he could demon the pickup on the roundhouse. Medium Tatsu, not quite dead yet. The flash on the parry, you heard it. Nauman does get done and dusted, thrown away for his problems too. Again, Kawano setting the precedence too with the fireballs is so difficult on the receiving end. Like, you're thinking about it as Ken, like, you could maybe throw it an OD fireball if you assume correctly. But further distances, again, with Raging Demon, that being projectile invulnerable makes it that much harder to even throw the fireball against him.
That's true. Even more dangerous of a threat. Kawano's setting himself up for success. On Wake Up, we haven't seen a single DP being red. Does anti the Demon Raid. Perfect parry with the sweep, hard knockdown, stays in front. Kawano blocks it out. Whip punishes, using the walk back with the crouching kick to catch that crouching kick of Nauman. The anti-shimmy tool, the anti-shimmy tool. Drive impact. Oh, no, not at that distance. No. Now you're in burnout. Side switch. That's level 2 against the fireball. Careful now.
Oh, that was slick. The Karen normal, the privileged one. Forward medium kick, counter hit, being able to link into the standing light kick. I love that finisher from Kawano on the other side, buddy.
With punish again, as soon as Nauman tries to take back his turn, man, it's over. DP level 3, Sickness Calamity. Kawano, just how insane he is at trapping him up in the corner. And Nauman has definitely been known to try to take back his turn with that shimmy tool, the anti-shimmy tool with the crouching medium kick, right? We've seen that time and time again. Kawano knows it, he's seeing it, and he's dealing with it. Games upon games upon games straight. I don't think there was a single game, a single round from Nauman at all. Nothing.
You know,
that's good.
That's just how it goes, man. Kawano, I'm sure he wasn't expecting a birthday song for Ed as an interview from Nauman, but I'd imagine he's like, all right, well, I don't know if he's taking this seriously or not. And he showed him why he should be taking it seriously. Go forward again into Fireball being checked numerous times over. The Fireball game just ultimately being a little bit too much for Nauman, and also just the overall pressure that Kawano had presented. But I will say this too, like with the amount of times that Nauman tried to pressure and get his offense going, Kawano being unpredictable with his own uppercuts is what really drove him mad. I think there's moments where it's like you see that a couple of times over, you start to doubt your own offense. You start to doubt your own instincts. You're like, well, I can't stop this person from doing an uppercut? And even if I do, like, what if he changes up his strategy? What if he decides to do like a wake up throw? Like, what do I do about this, right? I think overall Kawano, at the pacing that he was playing for his team at best of 3 with a very like wild style Akuma, I think that's just like the perfect formula. You can see it right here, 20 points to their name for Good 8 Squad, looking like the #1 team again. But they're not currently #1, right? They are currently in 2nd place in terms of the rankings. But the way they're playing now, it's just looking so strong, so dominant.
The nation immediately sending up Macho without any pause at all. And without any delay, hesitation, they're like, Macho, please stem the bleeding. Get us to a tiebreaker. At the very least, we can work out there and possibly get 25. However, if Good 8 Squad wins this, that's 40 points. It's a 40-baller on the menu against a team that got 2nd last year, which is wild to say. Again, DetonatioN working their way year after year, getting better and better, and having that utility. Last year really came to fruition, only getting 2nd place. This is kind of a beating so far, but let's see if Macho can stem the pressure. Again, I want to see the man that's able to anti-air and jump in perfectly, how he works against Pugera and how he's able to possibly open up Pugera. Will his timings be different? Will he be able to bait out a crouch fierce or dive kick before a crouch fierce can even come out? Will he make it ambiguous and do like go for like a fireball to drop down a hell attack? We'll have to see. Pugera has really good fundamentals, really good footsies, makes the most out of every situation, and he has these like, I don't want to say wild moments, but almost ingenious things that other people are starting to take into consideration with their Bisons. Like even me, drive rush scissor kick is something I've seen a lot more people do after he started doing at EWC, and I'm like, that's a good idea. A lot of other players are like, that's a good idea, because they think it's like a drive rush button or a drive rush break with a jab. The scissor kick, it's a punish counter. They caught him lacking. He had a nice little follow-up with a bomb. So Pugera has some really good ideas. He's got the bomb setups as well. Nothing super fancy, but enough to kill. And of course, Akuma, one bad DP means it could be death. So we'll see what happens in this matchup.
And I love that strategy too, to kind of like talk a little bit of a side note on that too. We've seen that as a tool for a lot of other characters. We've seen that very early on, and actually in season 1, where people will drive rush forward into Dragon Lash because people are trying to counter the button going forward. So that theory of being able to fake out the counter to the drive rush, that becomes like layer 2, possibly layer 3. We'll see if that's actually going to be something that affects something like Machobo, or if Machobo begins to utilize it as well, right? Because he has access to drive rush, Adamant Fist as Akuma. He could even do drive rush forward Demon Ray. We haven't seen that. I know it's kind of wild, but we'll see. I gotta see what this interview is all about. He's showing somebody from Division F. I think he's showing Dogura. I think it has to be some sort of correlation between like him and Dogura playing the same character in terms of training, or at least being like buddies and whatnot. It's gotta be, I'd imagine. But we are getting it. The interview coming in from Pugera as we get ready for Machobos. But just a little tidbit, Pugera, previously he said, I played the anchor game with Machobo before. Last time I lost. So this has to be like a personal vendetta thing, I feel like, for Machobo. Also, it's like, you know what? I've played him before. I'll be able to get rid of him. Huh?
Oh, now I get it. Now I know what Nauman was doing. He said happy birthday to Ed and not Kawano, because it was Kawano's birthday, and he was like, happy birthday, Ed. You
I don't know if that's
real.
Why
Kawano beat you so bad, bro. That's Kawano's birthday was it yesterday or something?
It was,
that why
Nauman did yesterday.
Oh, that's why Nauman did that. You a troll, Nauman. That's why he woke up ODDP on you continuously. That's why you got that. That's why he pieced you up that bad.
Crazy. This guy Kawano's only 26 years old.
Wait, what?
Wild. He's only 26 years young. I should say. Yeah, he's mad young. Actually kind of wild. But yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. I thought it was Ed's birthday too. Hold on. Ed's birthday, SF6. Let me see. Let's see if that's actually a thing today. Ah, it is actually Ed's birthday. Huh.
Oh, now I'm gonna be a troll.
It's kind of wild. All right, here we go. Machobo coming into it. We lost 2 games. Want to win here and win the extra game to win through this episode. Totally understandable. Let's see if you can repeat those results.
Immediate back dash, she gets a throw, finds a punish, but not a big one though. Surprising with the drive rush right after. Does get off the crouching immediate kick though. Psycho Crusher, full corner carry. The back dash is there. He was aware the throw was coming through. Hard knockdown. Goes for the jab this time instead of the throw. Something different. Looks to get off that Oki, off the sweep. This character is an Oki machine.
Oh, that could have been a giant whiff punish. I think there was a backdash coming in from Pugero right before that Fierce had been ripped from Machibo. And already on to the next one. That Fierce is level 1. The dent on your chest. More than enough damage against the demon.
That 1-2 step, no Chromia. ODDP took a page from Kawano's book, very smart. You like the fireballs at this distance. It's like to preemptively deal with scissor kick would be well spaced, but nice and close. Gets the counter, light kick. Perfect parry, deletes the bomb off the table with the follow-up. Tatsu double dash up for the throw. No neutral jump, and the crouch Fierce is there.
Counter hit as well, Machibo trying to find the right defense against the scissor kick, but that was actually on a hit too, so it's really difficult to even try to decipher what to do afterwards. The target combo lands, plenty of time to get that confirmed, and now the barrage on normals, a couple of lights peppered in. Machibo, he was more than deficit after that whole exchange in comparison to someone like Pugera, and look at his drive gauge again, being at the deficit. Pugera not keeping the string tight enough. Machibo, that's the second time he's exploded with the OD uppercut option select against the low medium blocked from Pugera.
Sometimes just hit that crouching immediate kick, not commit to anything, and see what Machibo does. Test the reactions a little bit. Tick throw up in the corner. Not where you want to be as Bison. Have to rely upon that bar at the bottom or drive reversal. No crouching medium punching outside the corner with an OD scissor kick. DP level 3. Zip is Calamity. And again, big lead here for Machibo. Bar all built up. They're still caught up in the corner. One more decision. It'll be an overhead. Fierce. Crouching medium kick instead. Tick throw. You're almost dead. Oh, yeah, you already know what's going to happen up in the corner.
I love the deliberate change up from Machibo from what's coming from the low medium kick, right? We've seen that example 2 times over in those last couple of sequences. It's always been low forward, drive rush cancel, crouch jab into either tick throw or a frame trap. He's done that 2 times over, and it's led to massive damage, significant mental damage against Pugero to the point where he didn't even know what to do, what he wanted to choose over on defense. But that's just the name of the game too. When it comes to playing Bison, you're going to be very susceptible to high offensive pressure, even after the crouch jab had come out from the drive rush. It's going to be so difficult without super meter, and even with that, the risk reward behind it, sure, it's a little bit substantial because of the fact that Akuma's on there, 900 health, he bleeds, sure, whatnot. The damage is significant. But what happens if you're blocked? The damage is amplified like tenfold because it's Akuma, right?
I think it was maybe Seijam that said this. He was like, man, Akuma, every time a Akuma player complains, I don't know why, because yeah, if I hit them, they die, but if they hit me, I die. You know, that's the thing with Akuma. Like, he can definitely deal the damage, especially with the bar dumped out in the corner continuously. And it's not even just like a lot of OD gauge being utilized. It's just significant sequences that lead into the corner, that lead into Oki, that loop the pressure. And if you're Pugera, who doesn't like to bust out a lot on wake up with bar at the bottom, more often than not, it's drive reversal. He's going to have to access that well at least once, I feel like, up in the set. You have to put some sort of fear. It can be called out on, it can be stepped out and damaged, but you have to put some sort of wake up pressure. Like Nemo, we've seen him survive instances where he shouldn't because he'll wake up at level 1, be able to bring it back to the brink. We've seen also crouching light punch in the medium hit, and the medium just not far enough to connect, so might have to see some micro walks to get in close enough for these counter hit situations to work out Masada Pugera. All right, better start here for Pugera. Driver still calls out the parry. Baits out the ODDP. There we go. The damage you want to see. The scissor kick, overhead, bomb right after. One more interaction. Brave Tech on the throw would have died for it. Bomb about to go off. Delays the jab. But Machibo swings right after. Able to get some distance with it. Demon flip, dive kick, trying to clip a limb. Gets nothing. Decent defense right here. He doesn't have to overextend at this point. Pugera understands no need to put any pressure on with any buttons. He's fine to cool. Back to the neutral. OD Fireball like to switch up with the OD gauge. Teleports in. Air to air with the hell attack. Puts the bomb on.
The awareness coming in for Pugera, still keeping track of the air game. Yeah, forced to block. But man, what a counter pick too. It's not counter poke coming in from Machabo. The immediate crouching jab after that sequencing. Go forward. More than enough carry as well. Oh. That tick though not paying off in Machabo's favor, obviously. No way.
What?
I've always wanted to see that
response. Whoa. Pugera.
Yeah. It makes sense. It just makes perfect sense. You saw the Imperial Zen startup from the side of Machabo. That was level 2. But having the invulnerability also being activated second, it's a pretty good ordeal. I love that. Coming in from Pugera. Keeping it alive. All tied up, 1-1.
What a buffer. Just have that ready and steady. In the game. We'll throw right after. I like more of the Machabo every so often putting out OD Fireball whenever he can to kind of put some sort of different pressure on the fireballs. The normal ones are not enough. But we work our way and drive rush. Back heavy kick. This time it hits. Gets a counter hit pick up as well. Overhead bomb.
Back-to-back throws could have been far more severe, but I love that too. Machabo just taking the throw while the bomb is currently in place. Now the scissor kick pressure backing away is Pugera off of the low medium punch. There was a counter hit, but still breaking down the defense from Machabo. I think Machabo might have tried to take the jump escape route. Not going to be in luck. The counter hit kind of sneaking in there because of that dash, completely unchecked. Trying to come with fireball, still trying to switch sides. Damn, what was that punish counter? How did that even happen?
I don't even know what he hit, but he did get the back heavy kick right after. Bomb going off. He's going to use the OD. Oh, he's got bar at the bottom, more than enough for that death. Back fist, level 3 won't miss. And this dude with the ultimate Psycho Crusher puts himself up another game. Game point, Pugera with some very clutch positions. Perfect. Wow, I didn't even know this was a perfect. Pugera, the Cosmic Buster, busting through the defense of Machabo and put him on the back foot. He wanted revenge. He's wanted it since Street Fighter V. He's been thinking about that every damn day of the week while he eats his cereal. When he goes to bed, he stares up at the ceiling saying, I'm going to get my revenge. And here right now, it's about to happen. Machabo, like, what do you do now to just route this back in your hands in any fashion? I don't know what you should do.
I don't know either. That's why I'm a commentator. I would imagine Machabo again, like tighten up the defense. It's something so generic to say, but there's moments I think where Pugera has done really great conditioning against Machabo and giving him different looks on offense to kind of throw him off guard. There were a couple of different like looks in the wheelhouse that would have already been implemented by Machabo, right? We've already seen the counter poke rebuttal with the crouching jab during certain gaps where he knows for sure that Pugera is going to be left in a negative position. There's been moments where he's tried to jump out in moments where Pugera had done maybe like a couple of lights to kind of try to see whether or not he'd commit to like the medium punch or whatever. Because again, there aren't really like efficient frame traps that Bison can do outside of doing something like a fierce because it leaves you plus, back roundhouse because it leaves you plus. But other than that, like there's moments where like the timing can be like really off-putting. It could be a moment where like Machabo just had like a lapse of judgment in regards to like the normal he had seen, or maybe the different timings that Pugera had shown off. It's been very difficult to assess the kind of defensive maneuvers that Akuma can take in the way that Pugera has been like setting the precedence thus far.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if Machabo can play this way, but it feels like Shuto and Kawano like the best at playing the Bison matchup in terms of like rotating a lot of offensive options, their defensive timings as well. Machabo hasn't had the same success. And also it feels like we don't see when there is a lapse in terms of like Pugera kind of, you know, maybe trying to figure out where his spacing is at. A drive rush overhead, he hasn't really been able to establish that. It's been hard because we've seen stand light punches, stand mediums, crouching medium punches, checking and challenging the dash ups. But you're already establishing the fireball game. Put a little bit more in terms of like that forward momentum on the deck, just to show something different. As soon as he's on the back, but it feels like Pugera runs all over him. And the timings too as well. You mentioned like the lapses of judgment. We saw crouching light punch and a back heavy kick. Wasn't even a true combo. It was block, crouching light punch, and then back heavy kick. And there was a punish counter. I don't know what was going on there, but it felt like a spacing trap possibly was going on in that situation. And the wrong press, the wrong button led to Machabo getting 40% taken of his life. This is game point right here for Pugera. 40 points on the side. Could be for Grenade Squad. Oh, I like that stand medium kick with punish. Also the distance against the scissor kick. It's a good button.
Oh. Right now, too, the current lead that Machabo has. Doesn't want to overextend. Throwing a couple of fireballs his way. Oh, that's a big punish. I think he walked into the buffer, and Bugera might have thought he would have been out of the range, but still, look at this damage too incoming. Spending the level 1 to ensure the perfect, I get that.
Shy using that bar at the bottom. Especially with the Kuma. He's got so many good tools. Level 2 as well. But this is really good. Corner carry off the side crusher. Throw right after. Oh, trade, put the crouching medium punch. Adamant fist, crouch fierce, fireball, heavy kick Tatsu. Better here for Machibo. Get that corner crusher up, stagger steps and stand medium so it connects. Crouch fierce, fireball, Tatsu again. He's got bar at the bump for an adamant fist if he's able to land the right conversion. Can he find it though?
Back-to-back plus frames, trying to chip away at the drive gauge. Machibo is actually holding on for dear life. If he manages to get the burnout sequence, I think Machibo might see lights out, but we'll see if Bugera can actually achieve that mission. The standing light kick in rebuttal in reaction to the drive rush. Out of all the counter normals that you could throw out, standing light kick is actually pretty good in terms of the speed. But man, in terms of the range though, I would have been absolutely terrified. If Bison happens to catch you slipping, you would have been dead. That would have been punish counter lights out.
Yes, sir. Uh-oh, too close for comfort. Switch up in terms of where Machibo is standing, allows for that to happen. Able to get the follow-up right after. I like the change up, the raw sweep. We talked about the Fujimura special. Working out in kind. Falls to the fireball, the backdash is there, counter hit, but nothing after it. No commitment on a drive rush off the median. Plus, jump back here for Machibo. 6 in the crouching medium kick. Psycho Crusher, no bomb just yet.
I love that trade combo off of the crouching medium punch. That was so slick. Bomb is applied. What do you do now? Take the forward throw. Can't take another one though. Exactly why Machibo delayed the tech at the very end, just in case he didn't know it. The defense has been pretty good on point for Machibo thus far. OD fireball pushing Bugera away. A couple more fireballs to deter him for just a little bit longer. Not a lot of meter from the side of Machibo, so the next will kill, but maybe the punish counter out for the drive. Impact. Sweep. Dash forward. Get that advantage. Knocking on the door. Tick throw 1. Can he do it again? Overhead, doesn't need to throw it. Bugera gets caught in the lights. Not ready for the overhead.
Talked about it, man. Slipped that in every so often. He finally built up the courage and the ability to do so. And earned himself a set point scenario. Drive rush, back throw. That's such a cool throw. Wait, he kicks you up like that? The trade?
Back-to-back background houses, the bomb being implemented forward throw yet again. Can he take another one? He might, but you know what, Bugera? He's already set that before. Machibo falling for the same exact trap, the same exact sequence that plagued him in his life the round prior. But now, Machibo in the opening gambit, this could be it right here, is as long as he keeps on with the momentum. This is so difficult. Forward throw, not a back throw, not too bad. Right now for Machibo. Let's see if Bugera can force the burnout counter hit, crouching medium punch, again with the scissor kicks, background house 2, jumping out of the way. This is actually everything. If you go into the right sequence, level 3, you could see a big change in demeanor for Bugera. However, this isn't gonna be the burnout from the critical art, sorry, from the level 3 just yet. Can he scissors on his way through? He does catch it! The punish counter is there. Machibo actually just needs one big sequence into level 3 that could land, or could he land a demon? The demon will definitely kill here. Let's see what happens.
I'd love to see a demon. Show us a demon. The only demon right now is Bugera, the Cosmic Buster, busting through with a Psycho Crusher. And man, Bugera earns his team 40 points in totality. You see the pain on Machibo's eyes. Man, Bugera is just too strong, too difficult to deal with. The switch up on defense and offense that we've seen thus far up to this point, too ridiculous. And man, I kind of slipped out there. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see the finale. I heard you commentating. It seemed like it was to the very precipice, but Bugera able to clutch it out though at the very end. Work on him.
I think it was 2 significant errors from the side of Machibo. There were 2 moments where he had tried to jump over for repositioning, and Pugera kind of allowed it because he was already ready to punish on the come down, right? I think Bikes' walk speed pretty decent enough to track something like that down. And again, in those last two instances, Machibo was putting up quite a fight. There was still a huge threat present from the amount of meter he had, despite being in burnout. That jump timing, his decision to jump in both those instances, I couldn't tell you exactly why he would have opted to kind of go for something like that. Maybe find Pugera committing to a heavier normal, perhaps, maybe like a drive rush, etc., or even like a scissor kick. But a jump forward, I don't know, man. That's from that close. It's hard to justify that reasoning from the side of Machibo. So with that in mind, again, Pugera solidifying what he had said in the interviews, he was hoping to give a happy birthday present to Kawano by netting these final points as the anchor, and they successfully do so. I think this skyrockets Good 8 squad into a pretty good position, almost near triple digits. 90 points to their name. I love that. I really love that for this team.
Very, very good sign. Very good sign. Good 8 squad. Look at the interview right now for Waichimochi starting off. You said he was in the reserve today, but they didn't need me at all today. I think had this been like a switch up, you know, Sim is still an effective character if you're like on home side. On the away side, maybe not so much. So like obviously only get counterpicked, Rashid, but he understands like that he'll get ready for the next episode. So next episode possibly able to be on home, where it'll be a more effective way to utilize Sim. Because I think that character still has elements that make him very strong in certain matchups, especially against characters that are problematic. Like Geef could have been one if this was switched in terms of the home and away. So maybe the next time that they play, Itabashi cannot come up at all. That's probably a game that Itabashi will have to sit out effectively, because if Sim comes up, it's definitely over. But again, he said he'll get ready for the next episode, so I can't wait to see what he pulls up to the table, whatever team he has to face. And we saw how good he was able to work out at the World Warrior. I believe he got, it was 5th that he got at the World Warrior this weekend. So that Sim is looking up a storm.
You know, I would agree with that. I mean, the last thing you would want in terms of matchups, kind of tough to even like digest right now. We don't really get to see Dalsim and Zangief at a very, very high level that often. At least in the States, I haven't seen it in like the European region. But I mean, like all that aside, right now for Detonation FocusMe, they're in a current slump right now. Detonation FocusMe only has 35 points to their name. It's not even just like the matchups themselves. I think there's moments where they could kind of like readjust. I think there's moments where they could actually highlight some of their players to face off against certain players and get those W's, right? Like Kawano versus Nauman, I understand the logistics behind it, or I understand like the matchup behind it, like having Ken face off against Akuma, totally understandable. Maybe if we could have seen a switch up between like Kawano versus Itabashi, that would have been nice, or like Gachikun versus Nauman, etc. Like that would have been really, really entertaining to see. But even so, like I think this data being garnered from the home side is going to be kind of moot, because the next time they play, they're going to be in the away side. They're going to be the ones fully susceptible to that counter pick to kind of add on to your point in general, right? This is going to be tough going forward for the Detonation camp. And I'm actually, it's super rough to see them go down this path currently with no points to their name today, whereas Good 8 squad just kind of leaves themselves even more and more unattainable for a lot of these squads out here too. So it's really hard to watch Detonation FocusMe struggle the way that they're struggling currently.
It's rare to see them at this point, especially having such a good season last season, just getting absolutely dumped. And I feel like part of this is the player to player, as you mentioned. You know, some of these players are better at maybe in different positions. Maybe you put Itazan somewhere else. You know, I think on paper some of these matchups make sense. It's just it doesn't in terms of how the player to player aspect is. That's an important thing for Street Fighter League. Let's go to the interviews even more from the side of Gachikun. He says, really great that we won straight through. As I lost to Gucci last episode. Itabashi has confidence in his moves, so I try not to be overwhelmed. Kwano says, I was able to play really relaxed. Big win today. And yo, Kwano, big happy birthday to you, brother. Pugera says it was really hard to rush through against Machibo. Became a close fight. Really great that we won. Happy birthday, Kwano. So he was able to give that present over to his entire team, not only just Kwano, but the entire team with 40 points to their name. Definitely big. Not only taking down Detonation and disallowing them from having points, but also skyrocketing them up on the leaderboard to the top spot for now. So that's really good stuff for the side of Good 8 squad. Trying to secure themselves another shot at the playoffs and grand finals and possible victory next year.
The one thing I remember from Kumamoto is how much that guy can handle his alcohol. This guy is an absolute tank. So I'd imagine, you know, I did see his photo over on Twitter. There was a giant beer balloon there, man. I'd imagine he celebrated in style with grace and a lot of alcohol in his face, man. This guy is definitely one to celebrate. So I'd imagine, you know, I wonder what the state of mind was for like Kumamoto in regards to like his current birthday celebrations. He had to be like big chill. Like he had a long day yesterday. He celebrated his birthday with his loved ones and his friends. When it comes to like the day after, he's like, all right, I'm okay. I'm feeling pretty great about myself, right? So happy birthday to him. It's cool to see the results that he had and in the fashion that he had it. 0 rounds dropped. But moving on, Pugera versus Machibo could have been pretty close, right? It gone down to the wire. I think Machibo played a very, very steady game, and I love the mixes behind it too. Again, revolving around the drive rushes and taking advantage of Pugera's relapses in defense. It was pretty impressive. But again, towards the end, you might have missed it. Those decisions to jump were really, really unfortunate for this side of Machibo, man. I think he might have been a little bit too antsy. He might have been a little bit nervous in regards to the current situation. Him being in burnout, that impatience is something very uncharacteristic of Machibo.
I agree. I definitely agree in terms of like how Machibo plays. Like he is one to command the skies, whether it be jumping in or anti-airing. He has documents on that. So it's strange to see him panic in that way. And that again lends like credibility to how Pugera plays and how much Pugera makes you panic. That might be one of those things where if you're in burnout, you have to figure out how to play, how to feel comfortable in burnout, which I think for a lot of players, not just in Japan, but all around the world, have to be comfortable being in burnout and saying, what's my game plan if this happens? If I'm on the back foot, if I'm in burnout, what's my game plan? Even if I'm on like a one-touch scenario, how do I play? How do I stay confident? That's just the development, I think, of Street Fighter 6 overall, though.
And I agree with that. There are only like a handful of players that really excel while being in burnout. I mean, the first one to come to mind is the general of burnout, right? Noah the Prodigy. But there are certain characters that allow you to kind of do that and kind of like feel that kind of confidence, or also like have that type of toolkit to combat even without having the drive gauge. I think Akuma is also one of those characters too. So it's very interesting to see and a very interesting concept to be behind. Let's see like going forward how this team rebuttals from this deficit. Again, so difficult to see them digest absolutely 0 points. They're on the air diet currently. Not even a sip of water. They're currently fasting on air. It's tough to see. But what's not tough to see is the revitalization of the fighting game renaissance. That's right! We got Capcom Fighting Collection #2 with the inclusion of SNK characters. Actually, SNK fighting games. Obviously, CDS 2 coming into play, which is so cool to see. And it just makes sense. Terry, right around the corner, September 24th. I had the luxury of being able to play him or play as him, hands-on testing over at PAX West this weekend. And man, I gotta say, his kit is gonna be so good for the meta. This guy's damage output is insane. His normals are really great. I love the fact that he's got great poking and also could link into super arts with it on punish counter. It's absolutely insane. Terry is going to be the man.
You are speaking my language right now. I'm definitely can't wait to get my hands on Terry. As you said, it'll be coming up later this month. But whenever this comes out, I'm there. I'm buying as many copies as I can. Physical, digital, doesn't matter what it is, because it's so great to see Capcom going back into these older classics and bringing them back in full focus. We've had a lot of great play over for Street Fighter just in general. There's a lot of great things coming out for Capcom, for Street Fighter, as we see for the league right here. A lot of great merchandise. Hopefully get some sent out our way. We're not done with Street Fighter League 2024 play. I'm sorry. It is time for the final match. Shinobism Gaming versus FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN as our final match of the day. That's going to crest things off. And I can't wait to see who's going to get the lion's share of the points. You know, we definitely have some very close, I guess I should say, contentious things. That's how we started. But it looks like some of these teams are lacking or going further down. Shinobism Gaming is at the bottom. They're 6th right now. IBUSHIGIN not too far behind them, only 10 points away. We'll see what happens after this break.
さあこの後は最後の試合に向けて休憩インターバルを取らせていただきます。インターバルの後マッチ3シノビズムゲーミング対福島いぶし銀の模様をお届けしていきます。再開予定時刻21時28分頃を予定しております。それでは一旦失礼いたします。
その爆発力、激しさを増したカトンのごとし、シノバの異端児、ジョニー。
だいぶ怪しい。
そうだね。カトンって言ってたよね。
カトンって言ってましたね。
カトンだよね。
今日はいつもよりも心なしか選手の皆さんが笑顔になっている気はしますけどね。はい、ずかずかと。さあここで
ナイスナイスナイス。ナイス。
ナイス。オッケー。落ち着いてる落ち着いてる。
美味しい最後。
いやかなりいい。
普通にいつも通りやれればもう
練習した通りやれてる。
しっかりと抜けるのさせてから踏み込んできますが、どう？
おでかいでかい。
さあこれはドリーム来た。行きました。そしてこのドリームを受けてマチャボーバウンド。
減りすぎ。
さあインパクトです。
ナイスナイスナイス。
マチャ
オッケー。
オッケー。
これは
ナイス。よかったよかった。
これは嬉しい。ドリームで締めましたね。
確かに確かに。
まず冒頭のハイタニさんの呼び込みでかなり緊張がすごいほぐれたんで、それはまず第一にありがとうございます。
大将モーチの動きが特にやっぱりかなり仕上がってるなって感じしたんで、まあ彼は僕の読み込みがなかったらこのプレーできないですから。
ああえ
Weekly Street Fighter League Japan FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN OSA
なるんで、あとやっぱりその剣の得意なこの陣来脚杖で波動とかにね簡単にリスク背負わせるんで、
これはオサに対してこのチャンスを見逃したくない。
打っていったー。
おお OD 昇竜。
しっかりエドの起点となる技に対してパリー取ってね
受ける形を取ろうとしているんですが、中足が刺さってしまった。さあこれは疾風陣。さあここは中盤からそのままドライブゲージを全て使い切ってきましたコーサー。指連脚によるリーサル。
We got the final team battle coming your way here with the match 3 of Shinobism Gaming going up against FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN, excuse me, as you get ready for our roster coming in. Vicious back at it with St. Cola to start things off. It's the Swanky Ninja, Johnny, with the heavy muscle mommy in his arsenal, that is Marisa. Then we get to talk about the man who puts people 6 feet under, the Grainmaker, Fujimura, with the ever-impressive Akuma, and that deadly sweep, man. Followed by the Vanguard, Yamaguchi, who's been starting things off pretty much day after day, actually, with some of the eds that we've seen thus far. However, he's ultimately backed by Sensei Momochi, Shinobi Prime. Last time we saw them play in day number 2, it was definitely the Ed sandwich. It was Yamaguchi as the Vanguard, not only in the name, but also in actual gameplay against DetonatioN FocusMe. It was Yamaguchi, Fujimura, and Momochi. And guess what? Here in day number 3, we might see the same play. Who knows?
See what they put up against FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN, brand new team. A team I've definitely been excited to see since IBUSHIGIN's venture into the esports, acquiring so many good Street Fighter players, putting them on their team. Now they have an all-star cast of young guns out here. They're definitely ready to put their mark on League and Street Fighter. We'll see what we got. Beautiful intro, by the way. Starting off, everything for FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN is going to be the Sunlit Rising star himself, Sasamo, a technical ed. We have seen him break down the character and break down his opponents with the Ed Boy. Now, right after that is going to be FUKUSHIMA's go-getter, always getting all the points. Yanai coming up to play, possibly with some Marisa, also with the Bison on his belt. After that, man of many names, but always known as the Daredevil on ice. It's Kosa on the kid. We saw what we could do against Ed. We'll see what he can do for his team today. And last but definitely not least, it's a perfect prey Prince Kakadu. You know him, you love him. Man, great on defense and offense, and a good rotation of characters. JP, Bison, and Akuma all at the ready. This team is super steady and sturdy out here. We'll see what happens when they go up against Shinobism Gaming. Now, if I check the rankings right now, currently, FUKUSHIMA is in the lead with 40. The Shinobism Gaming, they're about 30 points, so about 10-point differential behind. We'll see what happens today, who takes the lead, who will be going up further, possibly past the playoff borderline. What's the character list like? An Ed sandwich again. Yum, yum.
Yamaguchi starting things off first, Fujimura second, Momochi third. Now I'd ask you your opinions about it, but we definitely answer this in day 2. It's the exact same order as we've seen from Shinobism Gaming. However, the question is now for FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN, who are you sending up to face off against the maniacal Eds plus the demon?
I don't know who goes up first, but I'd like to send Kosa up to beat the Ed matchup because he looked so informed last time we saw him fight Ed in the last episode. It's going to be Kosa up first now. Not a bad pick, I don't think, against any sort of Ed. He definitely understands that matchup. We see how he plays against not only the player, but also in certain ranges where it's hard for Ken to strike back. He's able to slip in a sweep or a crouching medium kick, and he's able to snipe it, not like put his buttons out so often that he's getting whiff punished. I wouldn't mind him in an anchor, but we also have Kakadu, so that could also be something we see later on. We'll figure out who's in the middle, but right now, what do you think about Kosa going up right now?
I think it was interchangeable between Kosa and Kakadu. I think Kakadu actually suffering from that loss against Machimo in the tiebreaker really set him back, but also it's actually it feels like fuel to the fire, if I'm not mistaken. So let me see, actually, let me take a look one more time at who had to face off against. So, my mistake. So Kakadu, day 1, took down Fudo. Day 2, lost against Tachikawa. Not much. I don't know why I said Machimo. I might have said Tachikawa, but it's late. Either way, I'm hallucinating. Kakadu losing to Tachikawa in the tiebreaker was a pretty big deal for him because he looked so well prepared against Fudo, and that change up into like a 1-1 was a pretty big deal. So I think both are interchangeable. I think having the perfect parry Prince against someone like Momochi, who looks like one of the most well-informed Eds that we can ask for, is a much better bet in comparison to Kosa. I think Kosa taking down some of the lower rank Eds, and I mean it with respect. I think Yamaguchi, he's a great Ed player, but I think Momochi just happens to be the better Ed player. I think being risk averse, having Kosa up first to kind of like test the waters is a fine choice. But for Fujimura coming up though, I want to see. I kind of want to see Yanai with Bison in comparison to Sasamo playing Ed. Sasamo playing Ed, I feel like it'd be a little bit detrimental, specifically against the Shinobiism gaming camp, just because of how much practice they would have against that specific character, right?
Yeah, and I think Johnny, he's working on his Bison right now. I don't know how much informed he is with his Bison compared to Yanai's, right? Like, Johnny's still practicing with Marisa. He's still whipping out that character every so often. Like, I don't know how far he's with Bison in comparison to how Yanai is. So that practice, they'd have to go outside. It might not be as deep. So yeah, I agree. I would say, put Yanai up against Fujimura, like those riskier options that Fujimura will go for every so often. It might get blown up. I want to see how that goes about. But right now, it's going to be Yamaguchi and Kosa. As you mentioned, I think Kosa is a fine choice to go up first. Yamaguchi says, I lost to John Takuchi last episode, so I want to win here and return my confidence. Kosa says, I wasn't so good at facing Yamaguchi before, but I got better now, so I hope we can play a good game. And Kosa definitely has gotten a lot better. I feel like whenever I watch his streams, you see a lot more confidence in the way that he walks forward. He was able to confirm. We saw last week he was fighting his Ed opposition. We saw how he's able to work through that matchup. Obviously, Yamaguchi's gonna be a little bit different. He's one of the most defensive players. Shout out to Mobich. He had told me that a lot of people consider Yamaguchi very similar to Momochi. In fact, people say sometimes Yamaguchi plays more like Momochi than Momochi does. That's what the Japanese community says. So we'll see how it works out, man. Yeah, that's War on the Street.
I will have to see that. Here we go, Yamaguchi.
Yeah.
Already starting things off at a pretty commanding pace, commanding lead against Kosa. A huge demeanor, a huge difference in comparison to what we've seen Kosa do before to other Ed players, right? He actually had a very, very clean start to his debut as part of the Fukushima camp. Bringing it right back to him, too. The amount of damage, this entire sequencing, going towards Ken's offense. Been very difficult thus far for Yamaguchi to find that answer, and he finds it here. The dream sequence he could possibly kill. 2 bounces. Doesn't drop it. Doesn't need the rest of it. Put it in the trash. You're mine! Multiple uppercuts. Yamaguchi wasn't even close to done with that combo just yet. Nice work.
Ooh. Fine work with that stand fierce. Able to hunt it out. Like the hit confirm into the OD. Kosa was some strong starts, though. Just has to be able to finish the job up in the corner. We know Yamaguchi has some great NA defense throughout the years of Street Fighter. He's taking a lot of throws right now. Definitely want to get blown up by compressed medium punch. ODDP does work out, gets the punish counter after 4 throws. There's no more. Now, we built the bar for level 2 to run it back. Rush tick throw. Stand fierce. Maybe an OD fireball from the side of Kosa. He drive rushes in with the stand fierce instead.
I'm loving this too. Backing away, doesn't want to be overzealous. He does have a drive gauge to him. He can block a couple of fireballs before he gets into a little bit of trouble with the burnout factor. 4 fierce on the way over Yamaguchi. He's also playing it pretty cool. 50 seconds on the clock. I don't blame him. He can play it nice and easy at the current tempo. Kosa, he's also been chilling. Tech throw immediate, actually slightly delayed tech from Kosa. Trying to check the movement, the big punish counter, and it's Kosa answering back correctly against Yamaguchi's false pressure. It's tough. It's tough right now. The big whiff punish coming in against Yamaguchi. Does get the back throw, is Kosa trying to drive up with a sweep, actually. Level 3 to Kosa's name currently. He's just big chilling at the moment. I'm loving this patience so much. Okay. And I like that too. The answer back against Yamaguchi. He couldn't keep that string tight off of the drive rush. Again, a significant gap going from medium into medium.
Perfect parry on the fireball. Get the jump in. No, it's blocked out. On the cross up. Jump in again. Perfectly done on the distance. The toe tap, level 3. Won't kill, but will put him on the back foot. Burnout imminent. Kosa doesn't get it. I lied, but OD fireball after this can definitely help out. Or drive rush say fierce. Did he break? He did. You're dead. Kosa at the right time.
Kind of rough. With the pacing that Kosa has been playing at, it's been very, very difficult for Yamaguchi to get his game plan started, drive up forward. Punish kind of was there from Kosa, but not really much of a rebuttal to follow suit.
for confirm. Loses the turn right there off the heavy. Backs it for the anti-air. Again, this range looks like it's so difficult for him to anti-air. That jump light kick also gotta be a nasty hurt box to deal with. Hitbox, I'm sorry.
Loving the flicker now. Kosa still maintaining a slight life lead, keeping the string tight into the tech, or sorry, into the tick throw. Forward throw now again against the flash parry. Damn, you thought you could try to grab me. I love the conditioning thus far from Kosa, getting a lot of mileage out of these throws. Even more so against the throw whiff. Looking at match point, sitting at 2 bars as well. The flicker coming out, trying to get a fake out. Yamaguchi's throwing a variety of different looks with the fireball game, spending the meter as well. Kosa now within the 2 range. The big whiff throw. Yamaguchi being able to punish accordingly. What's the defense going to be like now for Kosa? Just a slight walk up after Yamaguchi had gone for the blitz, with the rush backwards. Forward throw now, Yamaguchi. Got to keep him in lock.
Ball sweep, gets a knockdown off the feet, gets a throw right after. Trade, jump in, knocking those jabs. Not going for a throw just yet. Delays it a little bit. I like that. It's jab, jab, into throw every so often, but here's the switch up. OD, but no level 2 expended at all from Yamaguchi. Will that come back to bite him? Tick throw again. It's opening here. Kosa holding parry to keep that bar up. That's a punish and a half. Why did he commit? Oh, you should have signed a prenup. I don't know why he committed to that string. Easy punch from Kosa. Dumps up the level 3 for the victory. 2 games. And Yamaguchi.
Repeating results thus far for the team. That's Kosa taking 2 games straight against another Ed. It's just another day for Kosa against all the Eds thus far. I think the last time we saw him play was indeed in day 2. And yeah, he had taken down Tachikawa 2 games straight. He's just looking like he's in complete control of the matchup, to be honest with you. Look at how long he plays out the clock, too. He's totally waiting it out and looking for more of the mistakes on the side of Yamaguchi. There were moments where he committed to things that were completely unsafe, like flicker even up close or certain distances where Ken is able to punish with sending light kicks, and also some of the rash decisions. And I get it, like you're behind on life. You want to get something really, really big going for like not only the drive gauge transfer, right? You're taking some of his, replenishing some of yours, and also the big damage. But outside of that, man, Kosa, he's had the appropriate reads against a lot of what Yamaguchi and a lot of the other Ed players have been trying to do in that matchup. Kosa starting things off really, really well for the IBUSHIGIN camp, and I'm loving this confidence too in that matchup in particular. When we talk about Ken versus Ed going forward, we always have to highlight Kosa's confidence.
Yeah, I feel like he really understands that matchup. I would like to review that a little bit more a little later on, because I feel like that may shift the matchup a little bit more where Ken players didn't like it. Kosa definitely showing something different with that matchup. Now, again, as you said before, Yanai on the Bison put it up against Fujimura, but it's Sasamo instead. So they are setting up Sasamo, which again, I don't think is the best idea considering how much work they have with the Ed players on their team. So Sasamo will have to show something different. He is a teacher for many people for this character. But again, it's so hard. We have 2 strong Eds on your team to teach you the matchup, to let you know how to feel, or like how to feel out like the footsies, where to get that sweep that you'd like to get against, like say, medium kick, the fireball game, the jumping game, and stuff like that. And already Akuma has a really good jumping game against Ed. You've got dive kicks, fireballs, you've got different variances that are similar to Cammy, maybe a little bit less detrimental compared to Cammy, but definitely still difficult to deal with for Ed. A lot of Ed players still do not like dealing with that matchup. Though they deal with it well, it's not fun for them to have to check the aerial approach continuously. For someone like Fujimura, he's going to use all the best parts of Akuma to get the kill.
Right, and I agree with that too. Again, there's so many different looks that Fujimura has kind of given a lot of these players thus far. When we talk about like some unorthodox plays, I think Fujimura has been one to kind of exemplify that a little bit and also find really significant success thus far. Looking at his overall record though, in light of the conversation, Fujimura had taken down Itabashi. We talked about all those sweeps that had happened. That was one of our biggest highlights that we had. We talked about him playing off against Gachikun, which is also a really, really tough matchup to kind of manage. on top of like one of the most well-informed players on the planet against Gachikun. That was a little bit tough, but it went down to the wire, right? It was actually 2-1 in favor of Gachikun. So this right now is going to be like the biggest test more so for Sasamo in comparison. Like I think Sasamo, again, being an Ed player from the very beginning when we talked about like who we're going to place up, this really puts him at a disadvantage, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think overall this is a matchup that Fujimura should know his hand. So we'll see. I mean, going in with the interview, I mean, it's all smiles right now. Sasamo already feeling kind of confident, but what other different looks can you give as Ed, right? How much more of a difference can you kind of like highlight in comparison to like a Yamaguchi or a Momochi or any of the other Ed players in rotation for Shinobism Gaming? We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Actually, kind of scared.
Yeah, I mean, like Fujimura also has had the chance to like practice out at EWC. When he was at least for the LCQ, he was able to practice with some of the other people from around the world. So that's gotta help his like knowledge on Ed, right? So for the interview though, Haitani said it's not Yanai as we thought too as well, and Fujimura says I have the same opinion, but I did some trading for Sasamo, so it's all right. Sasamo says, yeah, it's not Yanai. I've been losing these past episodes, but I have no worries about playing. I'll just do my best. When we mentioned having like a different look with Ed, I'm curious because there's so many different looks that other players present. Like Lashar is very good about like, you know, repositioning himself as anti-airs. Fudo always having drive gauge. Omochi with his hit confirms. Yamaguchi with his ideation on defense. Maybe not today, but usually his defense is really, really good. His defensive calls really good. Sasamo, what can you bring to the table that's so different that Fujimura is going to be placed on the back foot in a first or two as well? We'll see.
You can already see the confidence exuding from Fujimura, just walking Sasamo down already in the corner within the 9 seconds of the round start. But now the big rebuttal from the big man, Sasamo. What are you going to do to stop Fujimura from putting you 6 feet under? I like this. Free damage. All right, we'll take that on a Tuesday. Fujimura just running into the fireball a little bit earlier.
The drive rush, taps parry, maybe looking for stand medium kick there. Nice jab, medium, flicker, going close. ODDP though, the call is perfect from Fujimura. Sasamo's the one in the green. More OD fireballs, more OD flicker, if need be, perfect parry. Tried to drive for a shove, but the stop sign of the crouching to kick the speed bump, I should say. Sasamo in the corner, the punish on the drive reversal. Too clean, Fujimura.
And that was mad far too. It was mad far. It was a little bit late on the drive reversal. It didn't look like it was instant, to be fair with you. But right now, Fujimura again, now pumping the brakes actually as his opening gambit. Maybe looking for Sasamo to overcommit to something, or looking for the whiff punish. It's exactly what the space looks like. Big trade-off, more so for Sasamo than it was for Fujimura. Off of the uppercut into the advantage. No whiff punish there from Sasamo. It's so difficult to even try to track Fujimura the way he's been moving. Akuma's walk speed doesn't make it any easier.
Lion. The fireball's flying too as well. It deletes those normals off the deck before they even come out on the slower side. Does land the OD. Here we go, level 2. Sasamo is a man about the dreams. Yeah, tuck this man in. 3 forward fears. The DP follow-up right after, but the corner carry just fine. And the damage that's been done right now is significant. Sasamo sitting on the perfect ODDP. The bust out is there. A lot of bar to his aim, gets a side switch. Counter hit, try to press a button. But got hit instead with a heavy. Sasamo with a slight pop-off back from the brink.
I like that call out too. As soon as Fujimura landed, he just threw out a light, knowing full well he wasn't going to punish. Let me hold my tongue. Look at the drive impact. He thought he could try to get away with it against Fujimura. Not even in the slightest. Knocking on the knees a little bit. Standing heavy punch. Does find the mark. Now put him to sleep. Can you do it? That's 2 bounces. Let me get the uppercut. Do it again. Drive up. Kill rush. Bam. Another uppercut to end it? No, sir. It's going to be the safe jump instead. Excuse me. He didn't even have the range for it. That was my fault. Fujimura, though, nice and easy. Keeping it back to basics. The neutral jump for the throw bait. Take a sip and take a good night's sleep. That ain't Sip of Calamity. That's NyQuil, baby.
Oh, yeah. I thought that had the hands like NyQuil, but it's actually Akuma. First game, the double jump right there, calling out the throw. He did say he was ready for Sasamo, ready for the defensive tendencies as we've seen. Not like Sasamo didn't have some good moments, but man, just the way he's playing on this matchup with the fireballs at times, the switch up too as well. The usage of OD every so often, even if it's not hitting, it's putting Sasumo on the brink. Oh, let me hold my tongue right there. Catches the crouching medium kick. Punish counter right after it. Fujimura on the back foot, try to anti-air. Almost got clipped, the dive kick again. Talked about the aerial approach, difficult to deal with when you're Ed.
Good, that reached. But too far to get a conversion. Sasumo, man, still maintaining his attentiveness towards the air. And the big punish counter followed suit. Sasumo getting the grounded combo as well, getting the first round of game 2. I like this recovery thus far. Anti-air fireball. Something we don't really get to see too often, but Fujimura gauging the distance correctly and spending even more drive gauge for that fireball. Is he going to take a step back to let that drive gauge recover?
Old parry instead. Drive rush for the jabs. OD ends the turn. -4, but pushback is fine off the fireball. OD fireball again, trying to send it out, but Sasumo with the perfect parries. Nice and close, has been harassed by the fireballs continuously. Says no more, trying to hold that parry to keep the drive gauge up. Fujimura, another one on back foot in terms of drive gauge, but not a lot of damage on either side. Looking for the dumping, looking for a jump in eventually here from Sasumo. He's been perfect parrying a lot. What's the aerial game like now?
Behind the fireball, Sasumo now looking to spend some of his drive gauge. Has been quite the standstill. Fujimura has been playing pretty passive. Now with 40 seconds left on the clock, 40 seconds could be a pretty big deal for Sasumo to get his offense started. But Fujimura, again, he's been playing it very coy thus far. Is he gonna rev it up after this throw?
Spark, like they faked out, breaks the throw. This won't hit. Oh, it does. I lied the extended foot. He went for the dive kick. I think if heavy would have came out, heavy flip would have came out, he would have been okay. But he commits to the dive kick. Sasumo with the super to put himself in the lead. All the bar to work with right now. His game to win the perfect parry situation, also deleting problems on the table. The dive kick hits again. He will not be denied. The foot to face DP level 3. Again, a simple calamity won't kill, but it will put him at a big lead. And he can just back off and OD fireball if he wants. Just chill. Cool. Oh yeah, he cooling. Versatile jab, finds a mark. And he knows it's over.
Nothing much to worry about for Fujimura, building a little bit of bar to himself too. Actually, well, not significant enough to talk about, but either way, looking at match point, Fujimura, who's playing such a patient man. Sasumo now trying to be the one to move on forward. That was a little bit awkward of an exchange. That was counter. That wasn't even punish counter. That was Fujimura actually trying to press the button upon landing. I don't know what that jump short was all about. Very weird looks. Sasumo drive rushing out of danger. Immediately after that jump out, Fujimura, Demon Raid on the other side, +2 to his advantage, and also leaving himself pretty at advantage with standing medium punch followed suit. That's actually pretty good.
Oh, this is even better. Level 2 off the OD cycle blitz. Give me some more reps. The 3-piece, the 4, 5. Oh my God. Frame kill with the jab, tech throw. If you're Fujimura, I was gonna say with OD fireball and play the side switch. ODDP is how he chooses to spend his bar. But Sasumo's looking for one flicker, definitely one touch now. Drive impact and sneeze. A breeze will kill at this point. An OD fireball if he wants to use it.
And the delay normal upon wake up. Sasumo, I love that. The courage behind it. A slight pop off looking at the skies. Talking to his teammates as well. Fujimura has been put on the back foot thus far. One game apiece. And again, I love the trade-offs, excuse me, coming in from Sasumo's decision making against the fireballs, right? Fujimura has been pretty fireball happy these last couple of games.
Yeah, it makes sense, you know. Clip the normals before they even come out. So perfect parries away. There's a final jump in. This is what I wanted to see previously, is like, when am I gonna jump in? When am I gonna see like a jump in against some of these fireballs? We're gonna see like something different against the fireballs on the grounded play, calls out the perfect parry, gets the throw right after. It's set point here for Sasumo. So many different looks against the fireballs. We might have to see like a switch up in terms of like the ideation, like maybe a slow fireball, DP, maybe OD as well. Perfect parries are so on point here.
But the low forward spacing just at the tip, right at the toenail too. Fujimura so precise. But speaking of precision, let's see if he got it again. From Sasamo, we do get the double bounce, double uppercut, kill rush forward, uppercut, kill rush for the advantage, double kill rush for the advantage, excuse me.
Oh, caught the recovery, the throw on the flip out. Delay actually works out here from Sasamo. Try to reset with the throw. It's teched. No back though here. Drive impact. Nice and close. Hella personal. Another level 2 for you. And more NyQuil. A double dose of NyQuil. Sasamo. One more hit should be it. Yes, sir. The DP. Sasamo with a bow. Ending the bout against Fujimura. No. What? Well, hold on now. What to say? I was like, wait a minute. It should be over.
It's definitely 2 straight games. I would have been down to let it rock, to be honest with you. I would have been down to just let it rock.
Oh, yeah.
Give me another one. This guy Sasamo immediately went to the rematch. He's like, all right, we're going back in. Fujimura, I couldn't tell you what was going on, man. I don't know what was going on through his head. He had such a confident game 1. In game 2, he was playing mad slow.
It's really just slow like that. Like he had the fireball spacing, but like once it got deleted, like with the perfect parries and also the jump in, it's like what's your next move right now? Like right? And also drive impact. Like too many fireballs. I'm surprised he wasn't confident with drive rush normals, with his jump in the demon flips as well. We saw demon flip get deleted once. Demon flip kick hit the second time and allowed him to get a game. I don't know why he didn't go back to that game plan of just putting on so many different looks. That means Fukushima IBUSHIGIN has 20 on their board. Shinobism needs to win this game to, at the very least, tie it up. At the very least, tie it up. We might be seeing another 40-baller.
With Momochi at the helm now. Momochi driving this boat. I imagine with the way that Kakeru looks right now, he'd be the one going up.
Got it.
Yep, you got it.
Of course.
It's going to be Kakeru. It's going to be captain versus captain. Whose haki is stronger than the other? I'm really excited to know it. So, Ed, coming up again, we're getting the rematch. Ed versus Akuma. Your thoughts now with Momochi coming up to bat. I think one of the best Eds we could ask for. Some of the most creative things that we could ask for, and also just a really different outlook on the character. Do you think it's going to be enough to face off against the perfect parry prince?
So like Mochi, one of his biggest strengths is just like always having the right hit confirms at the right times. It feels like he's never really dropping anything unless he's like really on the back foot. And I feel like for Ed, that's gonna be even better if you're whipping, crouching, mutant kick, or forward fierce or stand fierce as Akuma. That's gonna be problematic. However, like if we're talking about like where points are being spent like an RPG, I feel like Kakeru is one of those cats that has points everywhere. A master of damn near everything when it comes to his characters. With Akuma, we've watched him at EWC, we've watched him elsewhere. We put fireball games on. He's done things with a demon flip. It feels like he's got damn near everything with this character in terms of like being able to flip the switch when need be. So I think this will be a pretty even match. I think more demon flips, successful as demon. Overall, Mochi can answer well, but man, when he chooses a demon flip, it's with a lot of with purpose, right? He'll set up for success. Do so with the dive kicks, the fireball, so he's heavy. A lot more. Every demon flip, it's intentional. That's like other players, but more game behind it. So I feel like it's going to be an even one no matter what, but I think on paper, there should be a slight edge to Kakeru. Also, perfect parry prince means that he should be better about dealing with like delay buttons a little bit more, with the jabs every so often from this character, and be able to ride it back and get the knockdown off like a perfect parry into like a Tatsu sweep or whatever it may be.
Hey man, well said. Not gonna lie to you, there were a couple of moments. There were a couple of moments where I'm just like, hey man, maybe I'm the one in the wrong here, but maybe my internet's kind of like not doing the greatest. But I think towards the end, I think the synopsis and summation of it, I think it's pretty much on point in regards to like the amount of confidence and the amount of power that Kakeru does have in its overall skill tree when it comes to Street Fighter 6. I think the challenge more so goes towards Momochi. Recently finding success with this character in comparison to Kakeru, who's always had a very well-rounded history. I think he's had some pretty big accomplishments in the realm of Street Fighter 6. I think his understanding of the game is pretty thorough to take on some of the biggest names that we can ask for. So we'll see right now. Already off to a very great start. Kakadu testing the waters out against Momochi, just walking up to his face, trying to get a throw. Kind of tough to imagine though. Kakadu looking to smother Momochi. And I like that. Yeah, Momochi playing on a different level now. He's looking for the drive gauge, right? You saw that attempt to try to force out a little bit of that expenditure from Kakadu. Drive impact, get the big splat to back roundhouse, finish the rest of it with the heavy Tatsu. Frame kill up the forward medium, and the walk speed being abused now. Call the cops. This guy's stealing. Go forward check, tech throw.
His pockets with
Not
the
gonna
throw.
be enough. Let's try it out. Let's see if he can close it out though.
Oh, he gets a pickup. Oh, that's so dirty. Nice and heavy. Hits the OD. Don't have the level 2 just yet.
Insane fadeaway, by the way.
Perfect parry. Put us right after. I like that jab on the way down. Now we're gonna pop the level 2. We'll see what it do. Momochi showing us something different. DP, kill rush again. DP, kill rush is over. Other side of the screen. Deep the jump fierce. Gets a throw right after. Big lead here. Where's that perfect parry press that we know? He's getting duffed right now. Meaty fireball. Glaze a button. Didn't finish the combo. They still find the same medium kick, and that's gonna be it. Momochi tying it up in rounds.
A lot of back and forth thus far. They've been jumping, that could have been huge, but even so, does get a punish counter against the flash parry. Roundhouse anti-air for the pickup counter hit, by the way, to put in the jungle state. I love that from Kakadu. Good awareness and also the good follow-up for a hefty amount of damage, but more importantly, the corner carry too. Actually being able to get himself out of the corner. This punish counter even more significant than the other. Damn! Into the level 3, the damage pretty significant on the drive gauge and the life. Kakadu still has a couple of places to be, at least away from the corner. Yeah, he's just about mid-screen. He's going to be just fine playing from this part of the screen. A lot of the same behind him.
A lot of room to work with, a lot of bar, but I mean, you can't get hit, touch, or tap, man. It's like an OD sequence in a kill. Once you will take that throw, parries the overhead, holds parry, gets, I should say. Parry and play gets the fireball, but now you're caught up in the corner. Looking for any sort of hit confirm again. It's from the side of Momochi to get the win. Drive rushes right after Momochi. He's proven that he's the perfect parry prince out here and be able to have that confirms as we know him for. First game, go right back into it.
We're starting to see the jabs come out to play. I like that. Makes a lot of sense too. Kakadu's been taking a lot of liberties of walking forward and abusing that walk speed as Akuma. And again, trying to intimidate Mochi a lot of the times with a couple of these throws. That jumping was everything. It actually caught the end of that kill rush backwards.
Nice score, Shoryu. Drive rush throw. I wonder if we're going to see more forward medium kick now if it gets close enough. Dive kick will hit against a fireball. Direct down involved, so it's pre-done for fireballs. Heavy kick Tatsu. Frame kill. Baits out the throw. There we go. Adamant fist right after. Kakadu using that frame kill to bait out the reaction. They get a game on his board.
Right on the way over, being able to catch Momochi on the other side too with the standing medium punch. A couple of taps through, big confirm into the level 2 now. A little bit awkward in terms of the launch because of the sequencing beforehand, but hey, still managing to get a combo that's a little bit easier en route. The damage still pretty significant. Side switch, no, same side. Demon Raid actually going in for the sweep ender for plus frames. The backdoor with the side switch is everything, but so is that jump in now for Momochi. Knock him down with the blitz. Sorry, knock him down with the... Wait, I was right, with the blitz. I was going to say with the raid. Excuse me.
Keep trying to find a hit, trying to find something. OD fireball, though, nice and close. Try to switch with the pressure. Close range, Kakadu. Or get that knockdown. Put the demon flip mix on him. The backdash is there from the throw. Triple the shimmy game on him. Did not commit off the crouching medium kick into nothing. Perfect parry from the side of Momochi to delete the fireball off the table. But he's in. Could get the kill. One conversion into level 3 will be the victory. Can he find it? The backdash. He also can work around the burnout, but there is level 1. He can cut through. Sweep. Demon Raid slide. Level 1 applied. We just talked about that. You gotta watch the bar at the bottom. You gotta pocket watch to not drop, bro.
The audacity from Momochi. I do like that too. Kakadu had to be pretty much kept honest with some of the strings he decided to do. Again, the next couple of hits afterwards would probably cause the burnout, or sorry, the chip damage from the burnout for the kill. So Momochi, excellent decision. That high risk paid off. Back thrown out. Just about to be 2 bars. If he lands this heavy punch, it's going to be everything. But Kakadu, he needs a single hit confirm. Single hit confirm and a drive gauge, or sorry, drive rush.
Punish Cutter helps out quite a bit. I feel one more conversion now. Bar at the bottom building up to level 3. Air to air. I like that fadeaway. Safe and styled. Perfect parry. I'm the perfect parry prince. You know what? No, I'm the king of perfect parry, and I reign supreme with that level 3. The scaling. Detrimental to Akuma. The kidney killer. Momochi.
He's not losing. Not to anyone. The level 3 coming out for the birthday boy. Ed putting 2 games up for Momochi against Kakadu right now. This is looking kind of grim in regards to like the pacing of it all. Like Momochi's already been through that grinder before. He's played against so many different playstyles. I think at first Kakadu trying to condition Momochi with the walk-ins, the intimidation, and just kind of like trying to establish the throw game. It hasn't really been to his success. Momochi's been very, very slippery in regards to what he decides to do on defense, how he gets out of the corner, what his rebuttals are once he has meter as well. Kakadu has been put on the back end, like on the fence multiple times over, despite having really great offensive sequencing.
We've seen a lot of good moments from him. It's just they don't lead to success. And I think some of that is like the perfect parry we see against the fireball. When that happens, if you're getting your fireballs perfect parry, especially if you're an Akuma player, you gotta switch it up. I like the aerial approach, but there has to be something more with the grounded approach. I feel like whenever I watch other Akuma players play this matchup, like, cool, if I get in that close range, CQC, I could hit the 4 medium kick. I can start doing other, I might even go for a sweep. I might even go for something else, a little bit maybe riskier, but I'm going to put other buttons on the menu instead of just like, you know, the usual crouching medium kick or fireball. Again, there's got to be something more when he gets closer, I feel. It also feels like Momochi has been able to hit confirm continuously, as we know him for, be able to make the most out of most situations. We've seen him properly calculate when you see the jump back, then going to level 3 of the perfect parry. The perfect parry also has been something that obviously Kakadu had started and showcased how strong that was last year, but now you have to maybe call that out. Maybe you have to stagger step some of these hits, drive rush with the throw right after it, to grab a perfect parry or whatever it may be to put them on the back foot. But then again, you know, some of this is just reaction. Like you see the overhead come through, I'm ready with the perfect parry. So there might be a way to bait this, maybe drive rush jab and the throw or something like that to catch the recovery of the perfect parry, to put their defense on pause. But then again, Momochi's just so, he's just so strong on offense. I don't even know if that would matter that much.
You're talking about like Kakadu changing up his offense, right? You're talking about him going to drive rush and tick throws, right? Yeah, he's definitely tried it. He's tried it multiple times over. Yeah, he's gone to low forward, kept the string tight because it's +4 off of low forward, drive rush. He's done the tick throw setups multiple times. Momochi had not given him any leeway. He didn't bite towards the baits. He delayed tech successfully. Also, there was a moment where he actually tried, where Kakadu actually tried to call out Momochi. He did low forward, stand jab, wait, micro walk back, wait again, and Momochi didn't press a single button. His defense has been so insane right now.
I don't know how you break that down. I really don't. If you're Kakadu, who again has, it feels like everything with this character, and look at the confidence. He's already established such good defense that the offense is round start, walking Akuma down.
I love that stalemate between the two. It's so fun to look at. The flicker between, right, the flicker standoff against the parry is so entertaining. But right now, Momochi is looking to stop all the fun and games. The amount of damage he gets to implement now. Kakadu has not found a solution thus yet. The Prime Ninja going in, looking at match point.
Shimmy with the fireball. Insignificant just yet. Killer Spag. OD fireball. Okay, up in the corner. The backdash. So clutch against the throw. Hits a level 2. If you're in the corner, the coast-to-coast carry, if you're able to get it, is detrimental to your health. 4 fears. Off the backboard again. Full corner position. West, or East Coast, I'm sorry. I don't know where I'm at. It's Kakaru. Delay jab. Killing the drive gets with the punish counter. Heavy kick anti-air. Saw that before with the Tatsu.
This could be it right here. Momochi just needs one more sequence. Jump back jab. That ain't Classico. Adamant fist. On the way through. Trying to keep it tight. Very close to burnout from both ends. The sweep. Call back to Fujimura. Now the forward medium kick. Kakaru gets to really control the pace here as well. And he gets clipped. The fireball game absolutely demolished by Momochi. You thought the OD fireball was going to help you? While I was in burnout, Momochi sniffed it out a mile away. True ninja deception. The man played it correctly into the sudden death battle yet again. Absolutely insane. 3 games straight from Momochi.
I guess someone like Kakaru taking pages out of his book with the perfect parry. And I really like the confidence to be in burnout and be ready for the options. Using that almost as a bait. It's like, okay, cool, I'm in burnout. You want to use OD Fireball to chip me out or get the knockdown, whatever. You feel more comfortable. That's what you think. We talked about this earlier. Players being more confident in burnout. And we're seeing it right here. He had the bar at the bottom for the dump out of level 1, and I got it done. Yo, Momochi. Deceptive, as you said. Now, final game. I say you put up Momochi for Shinobism game. He's way too hot right now.
100%.
Way too informed. This guy he's obviously the only one on the team earning points right now, at least in this juncture. But who do you set up for Fukushima?
I want Koza. I would really love Kosa to just step up to the plate and be like, yo, let me see if my ed training really pays off the way I'd want it to by facing off against probably the best ed player in the league. I like this shot. I like this choice if it comes through. If Kakaru steps up to bat in a 1-to-1, we've seen that happen. We've seen what happens in a very short notice, fast-paced type of game, 1-to-1 against Tachikawa. But I don't blame Kakaru if he puts himself forward just for the sake of improvement. Just for the sake of getting the matchup knowledge out of the way and trying to figure Momochi specifically out.
So it's going to be Momochi. But I agree with you. I would like Kosa to go up because I think his anti-ed knowledge is the best. But in terms of like ideation and preparing for Street Fighter League and just being better about fighting ed and getting your lick back, honestly, I'd like to see Kakaru for that element. It's going to be Kakaru again. All right. We'll be deceived the second time.
Yeah. And I'm not against it. I'm really not against it entirely. I think whichever player you choose, it's going to be for the benefit of the team regardless. Like, points are not going to be the big determining factor right now. They have 20 points to their name. They already have 60. I think that's okay to kind of keep yourself in the running of the top 3 because that's the ultimate goal for playoffs. This is a fine choice. This is truly a fine choice. Not the best track record thus far for Kakaru, but it's still not bad of a choice.
Yeah. Could be way worse. I think overall this is the decision that like emotionally makes sense. And I think I agree. Like 5 points isn't going to, at least this early in this juncture, like detonate your team. Like you're not gonna lose because of 5 points right now at this juncture. And I think for Kakaru for his team, if you get this W, this is like a big morale boost. Like, okay, I was able to eke out in the end. Maybe I couldn't take him down in the 1-to-3, but I've talked with y'all. We've learned what to do. And we've taken him down with that 5-point differential between us. So I don't think this is a bad idea. However, Momochi, bro, he is just so clean. He is just so confident. If you're confident in burnout against Akuma, throwing OD fireballs at you, and you got the proper jumping timings and things like that, not that we even seen a lot of jumpers from him besides like once or twice, that goes to show how much your resolve is overall. Not just the confidence, like your resolve. Didn't have the points that you wanted previously in the first episode. Haven't had the results overall that you wanted for your team. You want to make a stand here. You know, Momochi's definitely showcasing why he's the leader of the team. And for him, he's trying to show out as well. So it's a battle of captains. And I'm really curious to see what Mochi's going to be saying. We're going to get the interview real soon. Because that was such a dominant first game. I felt like he had Kakeru doing things I've never seen Kakeru do. Wake up heavy kick. Something I've never seen Kakeru do. Whether it be my mistake or just a call out, a desperate call out, whatever it may be. Mochi was ready for it to punish, and putting Kakeru in the back foot like that is not something you see every day. So like, I want to see what the adjustments are from Kakeru. Mochi takes it again.
We're getting a couple of words. Obviously, we got to get the interviews going before the final bout. This is going to be the tie-breaking 1-1 for 5 points. Thus far, both teams scoring 20 points to their name. Mochi, again, just in case you hadn't seen the score, Mochi brought it all the way back for Shinobism Gaming with a full-on 3-game W. 3 games straight, by the way. Mochi, with his words coming in, we don't get into extra games, and last season I couldn't win there, so I'll take my revenge today. Kakeru, very simple, very clean. It was my loss. I'll take it back.
I'll take it back. I'll take it all back. As much as you can. 5 points definitely is helpful to defeat the other team. But as mentioned, like you know, maybe this isn't the most technologically sound choice, but maybe emotional is a better fit, right? You have someone who wants to get their revenge. We've seen it happen in the league before, where they're like, I want to get my revenge, and they get the revenge. They're able to route it back. They have a different sort of energy about them, urgency sometimes in the match. Either way, final game of the day, say first to one, aka first to death. Mochi, Kakeru, run back, getting it right off the rip. Here we go.
First to one, do or die time. Kakeru, pretty aggressive with the fireball game already. Mochi trying to snap out the legs. You can see him kind of inch his way forward, and Kakeru a bunch of times over, looking at a bunch of micro steps in and out of the situations where Mochi can possibly snipe, and I love the uppercut too. Still very aware of the air approach. Forward fierce, not really leading to much, but Kakeru, he's playing in this pocket. Forward fierce again, trying to dwindle down that drive gauge and catch the spacing against Mochi, where the normals can usually fly out from Ed.
Ooh, very bad idea. What's this character? Could just cancel off the flicker and kill rush, get the grab. Mochi trying to equalize. Careful with the crouching medium kick. That stand medium kick from Mochi. Good whip punish tool. I like that. Not going for the anti-air. Would have missed. Kakeru trying to bait that out. Mochi not falling for it.
You tried to micro step away, but Mochi's still within range. The footsies have been so clean and also very patient from the side of Mochi. That could have been a huge punish against Kakeru. That low fierce was a long shot away from trying to hit the mark. But Mochi, he's backing away, doesn't want to be overzealous. He does have a slight life lead, could poke away with both flicker, the long range normals. Now it's Kakeru spinning the drivers forward, but now, okay, it's a big scramble. What a backdash from Mochi. Level 2, that's gonna fill enough damage, no matter what combo you choose to end it off with.
First round to him. Set point scenario. Mochi wants revenge for what happened last season, more so than just a match. Crouching with a kick though, sneaks in and drive rush, heavy kick enter for the max amount of corner carry, baits out the ODDP for free, starts off with an adamant fist to maximize the damage. DP level 3 wants a huge lead, his bar back in the green. That could mean more OD fireballs, more OD fireball pressure overall. Mochi coming up in the corner. Nice finesse and bless against the throw out, putting the rest on. Perfect KO. Final round between the two. It all comes down to this. Let's see that bar at the bottom. Closer and closer to that level 2 scenario. Mochi, can he build it up to that point?
Counter hit exposure. That's Kakeru starting things off first. You saw a little bit of the button presses now. Mochi, what's your sequence going to be like? Kakeru just backs away just a couple of touches. Jump in against the fireball. This is a great way to start things off now, or at least finish things. Kakeru has a forward throw. Could do it again. Maybe overhead, maybe low.
Tick throw. Kakeru takes it back from the brink. More corner pressure, more reads, and way better execution for this execution. Kakeru said he's going to take it back, and he did so. You see the continuous amount of throw pressure up in the corner, using drive rush at the very end to get that take throw scenario. And also before that, the jump in was clean and crisp and pristine. Kakeru took that second, took a little bit to be like, okay, what do I need to do against this cat? And brought it back from the brink. It felt like more confidence as the match, or the seconds I should say, in this short match were going on. Less fireballs, like when the fireballs weren't working out, he's like, okay, cool. Demon flips. That's not working out. Walk in, going for the pressure with the tick those, drive rush when I get the right proper distance. Either way, Kakeru takes it for his team. 25 on the side. FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN over Shinobism Gaming.
A pretty significant ender if my calculations are correct. They are currently tied with Saishunkan, Seoul, Kumamoto, but I think Kumamoto might have the upper hand in the tiebreaker. Either way you put it, that is a significant amount of points. 25 for FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN and only 20 for the side of Shinobism Gaming. Not too bad from both ends, actually. Shinobism Gaming walking around with 20 in their pocket, better than 0. Again, a better fate in comparison to the second team battle from Detonation FocusMe. But overall, I think the pacing of it, Momochi looked absolutely flawless against Kakeru. And that is that's a lot of promise going into the rest of the season. So long as the rest of the team can keep up. Fujimura, I have a lot of confidence in. I think Izukuma is going to be just fine. Yamaguchi, a little bit shaky sometimes, but most of the time he kind of is a second half warrior. Like there's something about him. Like when we saw his evolution in Street Fighter League the prior year, we saw him kind of really shine with DJ towards the later half of Street Fighter, where he was starting to take down World Warriors consistently and find his place within the ranks of the meta. So a lot of promise, a lot of potential coming in from Shinobism Gaming. We just see him be fully fledged into it before playoffs. And then what do we do about Johnny and Marisa? Right? What are we doing here? We got to figure it out, man. We got to find his way. We got to find his place in the equation, whether it's Marisa, whether it's Bison. Eventually, we got to see it, right?
Yeah, we got to see something from him soon, because I feel like it's to the point where you haven't played a lot of games and that stress comes in. We haven't really, all these other players have already played their games out here, win or lose. They've already been experienced with the stress. Johnny, even though he's played previous years before, hasn't experienced the stress of this year. So you don't want that later on to happen. And also what we do is we take Johnny, we sit him down, we say, listen, you want to play Marisa? There's Bison over here. Look at what Strider's done. Look at what most of the other Marisa players have done. It's time for you to kind of shift on over. Keep that character in the pocket for some matchups, but I think going over the Bison will be just fine for Johnny. We'll see if they get strong enough at any point. But we are getting the interviews from the winning team. Yanai says the team was too strong. Really good game today. Kosa says, I was losing to him last year, but I was able to practice a lot, and I feel the team was getting stronger every episode. So again, Kosa, I feel like overall has gotten better in terms of like tournament results. We've seen how he's able to work out here just in general in World Warriors. We've seen how he's able to work when he goes overseas, the rare times that he does go overseas. And I feel like when you watch his streams, he definitely feels like a more confident player. Like the tech that he has, he's able to utilize. And we see it now in all the Ed matchups. He is, I think, a poster boy for how to deal with Ed as a Kin player.
I agree with that. Again, I think Kosa has been a shining example of what to do in that particular matchup. Then we start to see like Kakeru again, his transgressions in the first couple of games, sure they can kind of get like written off. I think the overall like data that he's now collected is slowly starting to really develop. I mean, that first to one can kind of show him a different playstyle, perhaps a different type of pressure. So I'm liking the evolution right now, little by little. And I'm also glad we got to see Sasamo and his Ed prowess, by the way. We cannot forget about Ed from Sasamo. I think him facing off against Fujimura's Akuma was the ultimate test, and also a really, really great potential kind of strategy going forward against all the other Ed players. I think as long as he plays the way he did today and keep with that confidence and snipe out certain strategies early and overall strengthen his game sense, right? I think FUKUSHIMA might have a very decent shot in the playoffs. Now, I'm also kind of like waiting for Yanai to see how he plays. But going into a lot of the interviews, what do the players have to say as we get ourselves ready to get ourselves concluded.
It's also said he could win, even though it was though he went for the anchor before this episode, but he was able to win here. He'll do better next time. Kakadu says the anchor match was a good game, but he couldn't catch Momochi's moves enough. We're debating who would go for the extra game, but he wanted to get revenge and was able to do so. It was a good game. Again, that goes back to like the emotional or technical aspect of what you should do in these team-based scenarios. Should you be more technical? Should you send up something that's good on paper? Or should you send up someone that's like emotionally sound and wants the revenge? As we saw right here, it definitely worked out better for Kakadu. You know, I feel like we saw some good moments here. You see the backdash that was clutch against the throw. He read that level 2 and got the win. But is Kakadu slowly putting the pressure on up in the corner, putting more of that shimmy game? And I think that shimmy right there may have allowed for these throws to happen more continuously. It was like, okay, I got hit. I'm taking too many throws. What do I do now? It's tick throw, deer in the headlights. It's hard to catch someone like Momochi on the back foot. But after that shimmy in the first round, or the second round, I should say, I think that led to the throw loops happening, allowing that pressure sequence to happen up in the corner. Also, you see the switch up. I feel like the demon flips, if they're not working, the fireball's not working, okay, I'll go to the ground game. The continued switch up, different aspects of the character, definitely helping out Kakadu and allowing me to get that W. And I think that's a look that he should investigate a lot more with his playstyle in a longer match, first to 2 or first to 3, whatever it is. Either way, Fukushima takes a W today, 25 points to their name to end off things.
Very much so, well deserved too. We saw like the different looks that Kakadu had been presenting. I'm glad that exact sequence was shown off too towards the end with the multiple throws and also him micro stepping backwards to get that throw. The last time Momochi didn't even bite. So seeing it actually work this time around, I love the fact that Kakadu stayed stubborn. He wanted to make sure that setup worked. But either way you spin it, here's the overall scores. In match 1 between NagoyaNTPOJA, 30 points to Saishunkan, Seoul Kumamoto's 10. Good 8 squad getting the 40 bomb against DetonatioN, FocusMe, and Shinobism Gaming, falling just a tad bit short in the tiebreaker against FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN, 20-25. That concludes in Division S. You couldn't ask for any better stories. Again, all across the board, completely unpredictable, and that's exactly how we love it. It's exactly the way we want to see our Street Fighter. Currently in the lead, Good 8 squad with 90. Oja with 75, Team Seoul with 65, tied with Fukushima, as we had mentioned earlier. Saishunkan, Seoul, Kumamoto with the better win record, breaking the tie. Shinobism Gaming upping themselves at least 1 rank to 50. DetonatioN, FocusMe stuck in last week's score with 35 currently to their name.
That is wild to say, considering how dominant DetonatioN was last season and how good their team is in terms of utility. But that's the way it goes when it comes to Street Fighter League. I feel like even more as we get through these seasons, further and further in the meta of the game, all these teams are just so close. It's just by minute things. For today, I feel like DetonatioN just wasn't able to grasp the player-to-player aspect, and now we're going to have more coming up the next time that we meet. Hiroshima versus Crazy Raccoon, CAG versus Yogibo, and then Varela versus FAV Gaming. That will round out the next time we meet for Division F. So that's going to be bangers on bangers. Again, Hiroshima, it's a team I'm definitely looking forward to seeing face off against Crazy Raccoon. That's going to be the first match. That's a banger right there. They're all bangers. But that one especially, man, they're all bangers. But that is going to be a great one. Next time that we meet later on this week, actually, on the 6th. So make sure you guys lock and load your calendars for that one. And for all the Street Fighter League action that we have coming up throughout the months, we are not going to stop to get that top spot for the playoffs and beyond.
We even have the schedule coming up for you as well for Division S. Again, although we just concluded Division S, we got so much more to go through, baby. Here we go. Good 8 squad going up against NagoyaNTPOJA, followed by Shinobism Gaming, facing off against Saishunkan, Seoul, Kumamoto. To round it off, again, the marquee matchup. FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN now getting on the away side against DetonatioN, FocusMe. Battle of the bottom 2. That is mad rough, actually.
Detrimental. We'll see what happens with that one. Hopefully DetonatioN can get their focus in. But again, here's the schedule for everybody, so you can write them down on your calendars, take a screenshot, do whatever you got to do to make sure that you do not miss a single match of Street Fighter League. Again, as we get closer and closer to the playoffs, we have a lot of time to grind out these matches, but not a lot of time just in general before these teams will get to a point where they can't gain enough points to get that top 3 spot. We start seeing some players maybe lead or some teams lead up as they get also grinding out for like the CPTs online and offline. offline. You know, those things are going on. I know UFA is next week, if I'm not mistaken. Time is hard for me, but I believe it's next week for UFA, if I'm not mistaken. But players will be out there, I'm sure. I know Tachikawa's going out there. There's a super premiere that is coming up in November on the 2nd. QR code that you can sign up and play no matter where you're from. Super premiere and qualify for the Capcom Cup Finals. You can gain your spot out there. All you gotta do is just simply win against the best in the world. Inland Japan, plus more coming through from all angles of the world. Just simply win.
Easier said than, or sorry, pretty much right on the money too. I think it's a pretty easy example, a pretty easy statement. Yeah, just got to do it. But scanning that QR code again, if you guys are in the land of Japan and happen to be tuning into the English broadcast, first and foremost, hey man, we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for doing so. A lot of the super premieres are going to be happening not only this month, right? We talked about the UFA. But even in October, hence why we had a couple of vacant slots over the weekends, right? We have, I do believe, East Coast Throwdown, then followed after that, the super premiere in Singapore, and then after that, the next super premiere would be in Japan. With that in mind, during the super premiere, we will have a handful of different streamers and different players kind of covering a lot of the matchups as well. But I'd imagine with Dogura and Kawano, they'd want a piece of the action as well. I'd imagine they'll be competing. I think this is going to be like the roster of the players either restreaming it or participating. Like maybe it's like a highlight of these players, like, hey, check out their progress. I know Betty's a part of that as well. One of the master ranked juries on her way to legend. I don't know if she had achieved it just yet, but either way, I still got to find out who that fourth person is. We'll figure that out eventually. In the meantime, Japan number 3 is going to be happening in their 3rd week for World Warrior. This is a pretty big deal. It's going to be happening on the first weekend of October on the 6th. Be sure to mark your calendars for this one because I happened to miss the one on Sunday. That was happening during the World Warrior recap show, the spotlight. But again, I already saw the results. I didn't get to see like the thorough dive for it, the thorough matches, but it's something you don't want to miss. It's been very, very interesting to see how some of these results have fleshed out.
Yeah, the meta too as well, considering what players are playing what, and characters are playing what. I'll see a lot of Street Fighter League players up at that top spot, so it makes sense because they grind out every single week. But there's also Singapore that is also coming up in October. You mentioned all the different places to play offline. This is another one too as well, so sign up for Singapore. That's going to be on the 18th of October. So many places to play for a CPT qualification seat, whether it be World Warrior, whether it be these offline big premieres, and it's great to have offline matches in general. It's great to see people congregating together, arguing about fighting games, talking about what they love, what they don't like, and there's a lot of things going on in Street Fighter League, just overall, in the streets, just in general for Street Fighter 6. It's cool to see all this great just merchandise that I hope we get someday, just the support and love all around for the teams and things like that, the caravans, the watch parties. There was a watch party for World Warrior that was stacked. I mean, seats were filled out.
I know.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm not surprised, man. I'm not surprised. The amount of love, the amount of loyalty, and the amount of fandom coming in from Japan has been super, super top-notch, and for a very, very good reason, man. You guys have been tuning in to some of the brightest in regards to Street Fighter, and very well may be some of the biggest and best competitions and competitors we can ask for in the realm of Street Fighter. But that's it. That wraps us up for Division S. You guys know when to tune in. You guys know what to expect. But in the meantime, we'll catch you on the other side of the streets. Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon.
ぜひご応募いただければと思います。お願いします。はい。ということで、こちらでディビジョン S の第3節の3試合が終了というところになりました。なんかあるっぽいか大丈夫ですか？はい。さあ、というところでね、こちらぜひ、今週末にもう一つのね、逆側のディビジョンがあったりとか、来週にもね、節がございますので、はい。次回は、灰谷さん初、下の予備 F です。あ、F か。F の予備か。あ、そうか、前回も同じところだったんで。楽しみだな。いや、かなりね、上手になれてたんで、まだまだちょっと進化していくということで、はい。こちらね、皆さんも楽しみにしていただければと思います。では本日は改めて実況私、ヤマト、そして解説は灰谷さんでお送りいたしました。この後は選手の音声入り、本日のハイライトをご覧いただきながらのお別れとさせていただきます。それではディビジョン F 第3節でお会いいたしましょう。それまで、さよなら。さよなら。さあ KB のベガ対梅原の号機。 どうだ倒しきれるという判断か。サイコクラッシャーからのスーパープレベル3アンリミテッドサイコクラッシャー。この5
ナイス、勝ってる、ナイス。
足を捉えた。忍ぶ両者の対決どうなる。ドライブゲージが D にまで後ろ。ドライブゲージが
すごい苦しいこの試合。
していいなって感じですね。
そしてゲージはもう溜まっている。
しっかり起動したマノン。
ブラフも効かせて立川大将戦を制していく。今日は江戸の
感じですね。
そしてゲージ
おい、ナイス。
マジでナイス。いやマジで同じチームでやった。
乗り越えたねこれ。うわマジうまい。
いやこれはでもね、いやねこれね立川がうまいことやったよ。
ブラフも効かせて立川上は無視される。
ここでウサール壁が出てくる。わあうまいっすけどね。
手前に来るのを狙っていたんですが、ここ
俺にいた。
狙っていたんですが、さあしかし OD 混合シャッカー壁バウンド OD ザンク OD 竜巻。どうだ SA3 マガツキ
乗っからないかもしれない。
わずかに残るかという絶妙なラインに
減りすぎ。
こんなに変の。
ジャスパー前に来る。上に行く。くぐっている。サイコクラッシャー。
ナイス。
いやよく耐えたわ。
完璧。
ストレート勝利。
いや焦っちゃった。もう何やってもしょうがないです。いや今のは申し訳ない。いやこの弱え。
パリなんか構えて、あらここはターゲットが漏れてしまった。そして倒しきりの SA3。さあコサここまで多く山口の一戦ありましたが、ストリートファイターが漏れてしまった。
うわ緊張した。緊張した最後。めっちゃ緊張した。最後緊張した。いいねありがとう。
これはたまるぞ。来るかどうだ。超えろ。迷いはない。
マジか。
ドリブルチェイスからの
うわ
100。
はいナイスマジで。ドリームの申し子。
回復しないと SS で削られちゃってた。
うお
あでも
パニカンストーム。
どこらへんだ。
オッケー。すげえナイス。
さすが。
延長戦あります。延長戦。
そうですね。
投げ
た。
この投げはでかい。
強すぎる。
からの投げまだ残る。投げる。先ほどのバックステップ。
はい投げまして。はいナイス。
怖がっていない。
勝利きた。
素晴らしい。
ナイス2択。ナイス。
それよ。あなたの強みもう大好き。ナイス。